right. Hey there once again, everybody. If you couldn't tell already from the title, this is going to be the last episode, at least of the Fate route. So we are going to be. I did a little looking ahead, and we're just going to be going until it's done. So whether that's an hour or 2 hours or 2.5 hours, we'll just keep going, and that's kind of why I started a little bit early. I wanted to start earlier, but whatever. Just peel back the curtain a little bit. No episode last week because that was the week of my finals, and I wanted to end strong. But anyway, that's not why we're here. So, if everybody else is ready, why don't we get started? Oop, shit. Don't look at that. Doing some testing stuff. Alright. February 15th. Fate. Utopia. When I wake up, the sun is already way up. The sunlight coming in from outside is faint, and the room is dim. I feel like it's still last night. I feel like it's still last night and shake my head violently. There we go. It's cloudy outside. No wonder I didn't wake up. Seems my sleep-deprived body caught up on sleep, taking advantage of the darkness of the room. This is a very good start. It seems it's already past 1 o'clock. Oversleeping this much can't just be called sleeping in. Hey, Saber, are you awake? There's no answer. Saber is sleeping next to me, slightly curled. I wake up when I'm not sleepy anymore, but Saber has to recover her magical energy. Considering how long she slept before, she probably won't wake up until dinner. That's fine. I leave the room, trying not to wake Saber. There's no need to wake her up right now. The contest begins at night. I don't think Lancer or Gilgamesh will appear during the day. So I have to come up with a plan. Putting Lancer aside, Gilgamesh will certainly come again tonight. I don't even need to think about it, considering his personality and the murderous intent he showed last night. But what should I do? He has an infinite supply of noble phantasms, and one of them even exceeds Saber's Excalibur. Berserker was a difficult enemy to defeat, but we could still fight him, even though we were inferior. We could look for a chance for a comeback even when he was pushing us. But Gilgamesh is different. It won't even be a fight right now. If he uses that noble phantasm called Ea, we will all die. I have to find a way. There isn't long before sunset. There's no solution if I think on my own. If Saber, Tosaka, and I can't think of a plan, then the church supervisor, he might know. He might know a way to overcome this situation. King of Heroes, Auo, Gilgamesh. Kotamine Kyrie said that he would find some measure against that survivor of the last Holy Grail War. We can't find a countermeasure, but that priest might have already come up with a plan. Fucking creep. I go up the hill. The sky is filled with gray clouds. The church is the only thing at the top of the hill. There's no one in sight, not even the sound of birds. Is it because of the dark sky? It looks more ominous than holy. Metaphorically, it feels like a gallows. Going up the long hill to a large courtyard, prosecuted before God, and falling to hell. What am I talking about? That's not just a metaphor. From the beginning, a church is a place where people go to die. A hospital is a place where they can try and prolong life, but at the same time, it's also a place where people face death. A church is the same. In those terms, no place has more deaths than here. The wind is cold. Fastening my collar, I go up the stairs to the church. Hello. Kotamine. I came to talk. I entered the chapel. There's no one in here either. Kodamine? Is he in the back again? Walking between the chairs, I walked to the altar. Pat, 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 pat. A dry sound echoes through the chapel. It must be designed for echoes as one person's footsteps fill the room. Kodamine? You not in? I call it in a soft voice. It's certainly strange. I should be calling out in a loud voice if I'm calling for someone. I know he's somewhere in the back, so I should be calling out in a loud voice. But I advance, keeping my voice quiet, my footsteps quiet, suppressing my presence. It's because the chapel is so magnificent? I feel like as soon as I reveal my presence, something will surround me, cut my head off for disgracing God or something. So yeah, church. I pass through the chapel and get out into the courtyard. I think Kodamine's room is... I advance with quiet footsteps. The church is complicated, and I don't know where Kodamine's room is. My memory is vague, so I won't be able to get there Something. I control my breathing. My throat is dry and it's hard to breathe. Why? Even though the hallway's cool, sweat forms on my brow. I stop calling out and examine the surroundings with all my senses. Do I have such... I don't know why. Why I'm walking silently. Why my heart's beating so fast. Why... ominous feeling in this place. The same words repeat in my head. Go back, go back, go back, go back. Kodamine isn't here, so you don't have anything to do here. Go home since you're by yourself. Your decision is a mistake. Your actions are a mistake. Your chill is a mistake. Go back, go back, go back. This isn't bad. There's nothing bad here. There's nothing here, so go home. I feel sick. I feel nauseous. At times like this, my chill is correct. My sense for danger is good enough for an amateur mage. That's why I can't stop. Suppressing my pounding heart, I look for Kodamine's room. And in that way, I run into the darkness. Underground? I see stairs in the darkness. In a small indent between the walls one would normally miss because of the shadows is a narrow staircase. I shouldn't go down there. I'd bet money on it. Kodamine won't be down there. No one will be down there. There can't be down there. There can't down there. There can't be down there. There can't be down there. I shouldn't go in there. My neck stiffens. I gotta go this. We already came this far. I enter the darkness. The room made of stone. The lights aren't on, but the room itself is glowing blue, as if it's a living thing. An underground temple? It might be used quite often, as the temple isn't dirty with dust or mold. How deep is this? I look up at the stairs I've descended. The staircase is built along the wall in an arc. I must trace out a perfect half moon, as I can see the start of the stairs about 10 meters directly above me. Is it because there's no light? The arcing staircase that connects the underground and the outside world reminds me of a centipede crawling through this temple. And I notice the door. Under the stairs, the symbol in front of me. Beyond it, an entrance to darkness is open. I approach the darkness, as if drawn to it. Actually, I need to turn that down a little bit. Oh shit. I go through what appears to be an entrance into the place. It's damp? The floor feels slimy, and it's hard to walk on. It's like the time I cleaned the swimming pool at school. The feeling that bog moss covers the floor, and the feeling that my leg would rot every time I step in it. I stop. It's because I'm scared by the nasty feeling on the floor. But more than that, because I smell an awful stench. I plug my nose in reflex. The smell is momentary, but ongoing. It's not the smell of meat, but it's not gunpowder either. Is this formalin? The smell of medicine fills the room. My senses were numbed as soon as I came underground. I don't feel any chills or pressures anymore, but still, my heart beats like it's expanding to twice its size. And my hands are vermiculating like they're going to crumble into pieces. And the worst thing is, my eyes have gotten used to the darkness. The darkness fades. A drop falls somewhere. Is that a signal? The things I couldn't see before are engraved into my eyes instantly. It is a living hell that's somehow familiar. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses. There are corpses all around me. The smell of medicine covers the smell of death. That's the cause of the dripping sound. The water's dripping under the corpses' mouths. The slightly open mouths take in the water, and it must have been like that for many years as his lips are swollen and rotten, and the jaws are decomposing on some. I tell myself this isn't happening. I don't want to think that such a thing can happen, but I can't deceive myself. I can tell in a second. Even though there are this many corpses, no one is dead in here. They're alive. They're alive. These things that can only be perceived as corpses, these things that used to have human shape, are still quite alive. I remember a news story I heard somewhere. It was a story about a whale. About a guy who survived for a month after being swallowed by a whale. That huge creature has a huge digestive system to maintain its huge body. The great thing is, the creature has two of them. The first stomach is where it keeps all the fish it swallows. The next one is the one that digests all the creatures it stores. So the man who had swallowed lived for a month being slowly melted in the lightless, warm, stinking meat lacking in oxygen. In the stomach full of dead fish, he lived for a month as his clothes and hair melted. A month, not knowing when he would be sent to the stomach. And then some fishermen killed the whale. And when they were cutting it apart, a smooth and slimy human came out of the stomach like an alien. Yeah. It's a tragic story, but this is just as bad. Oh. Why are they alive? Every corpse is deformed, and they lack too many of the human characteristics. No limbs. Those that have had them cut off. Those that have had the ends decomposed, leaving only the bone. Those who are ground down in the cracks in the floor. Those who become homes to bugs splattered on the walls. No matter how they came to be that way, they have no limbs remaining. All of them are worn out like rotten trees. I don't even need to know why. The corpses are being eaten by that coffin. I don't know how it works. It's just that the corpses are stuck to the coffin, and the coffin is sucking nutrition out of the corpses. The flow of life. The coffin is sucking up magical energy. No, something close to the soul, slowly, so not to kill the ones it leeches off, and so as not to allow them to live. The sound of the wind that sounds like sobbing. It seems like screams coming out of the corpses' mouths. Their throats have already decayed, and they cannot let out voices. It has already become just an organ to keep them alive. But still, the corpses are crying out. In an almost inaudible voice, they scream with all their might. It must be the pain and the fear They continue screaming, unable to stand losing their form and being eaten alive. I hear a sound. The coffin in front of me gasps, drooling. An eye drops off as it turns its neck towards me, but still, it stares directly at me. The swollen lips move a little. It speaks in a voice that's not even a voice. It asks me that question. I'm right on the verge of screaming. No, I can't even scream now. Where am I? It doesn't say it hurts, nor does it ask for help, but it says it doesn't understand why it's here. Is that the reason? He was like that before he realized it? He lived normally, went to sleep naturally, and was gasping here when he woke up? His limbs are already gone, sucked by that coffin, rotting away from the ends, unable to move. And you can only believe this is just a bad dream. I might go insane. My heart might break from this scene and from this terrible spectacle. But why? Why do I recognize them? I've never seen them, but I recognize every one of their corpses. This is the first time I've seen them. They are people I shouldn't know. They're people unrelated to me, but why are they, as if knowing me, staring at me? Just go back and check that because it must be weird. Yep. Okay. Let me advance. I have another question. Is it some coincidences, or did the sacrifices have to meet this condition? Why are they all the corpses here, children of the same age? And then... Oh, welcome, Emiya Shiro. Suddenly, I'm tapped on the shoulder from behind, as if being greeted by a friend. My body freezes at the sudden event and I can't even turn around. But I don't even need to turn around to tell who the person behind me is. Kotomine Kyrie, the priest of this church, the man who made this hell. And a devil I must not meet more than anything else in this place. What awful timing. It was foolish of me to prepare food for you, thinking you would come soon. I was unable to welcome you last time, correct? I thought I was attending to your needs, but it seems we missed each other. I can't talk. The priest's hands are heavy on my shoulders. But I cannot approve of trespassing. If you do such things, you will end up saying things you should not. Such as a truth that might set a relationship back to a blank page. The priest's voice is more cheerful than I've ever heard it. Kotomine Kyrie, staying behind me with his hands on my shoulders, is definitely smiling. That's why I'm frightened. What is it, Emiya Shiro? You came to talk, so it does no good for you to stay silent. I'm disappointed. Is this spectacle really that outrageous? The priest says inhuman things in a cheerful voice. Does this man not feel anything when faced with this? I don't even need to tell him the scene is outrageous. Oh, that is cold of you. It is a simple compassion to say that is, not even if you might think it's unpleasant. After all, you guys are like brothers and sisters. I do not think they will be saved if you act that way. Huh. Just now. What did he say? What did you say? I said that you and these corpses are fellow mates. By whatever means, you all survived that living hell. Even if you have no blood relations, I believe the connection is close to that of brothers and sisters. Am I wrong? see. That's why I thought I recognized them. This is the continuation of 10 years ago. And this place is the continuation of that hospital room. My head spins. Children who lost their homes and parents? They were supposed to be sent to an orphanage to stay there until they found someone who would adopt them. But I was adopted by Emi Kiritsuga before that, and I didn't know what happened to them after. I avoided thinking about it. The orphanage was the church at the top of the hill, and I could have gone there any time if I wanted to. But still, I hesitated. I felt it was unfair for me to get adopted and then go see children who didn't. So if I was to meet them, it would be in town. We'd meet accidentally, be able to talk normally, and we would be over the fire incident. I was looking forward to such a meeting, thinking that surely we would meet in such a small town. So why have I not met even one of them? Kato... Mine... That is right, Emi Yoshiro. If you had not been taken by Emi Kiritsugu, you would have been one of them. Do you understand? You alone survived once again. Everyone around you dies, but you survive. What do you think? Do you not think it is unfair? My pulse returns. My frozen body defrosts in an instant. Oh no, I'm not criticizing you. It is rather delightful. Emi Yoshiro's survival abilities are impressive. Honestly, I did not expect you to remain until the end. That is why I have allowed you to be reunited with your brothers and sisters in your final moments. You really are lucky. I was planning on closing this place up after today. You just barely made it. 10 years now, I kept them alive to feed the servant. But it's coming to an end. I cannot hope to extract the same amount of souls when I started, and there's no more need for food in any case. All that remains now is to kill you and your servant. You? With that word, I break all restraints. I move my body, which had been bound. I fling the hands off my shoulders, throw myself forward, and turn to face the priest. Kotomine, you... I face him, placing enough distance between us. In that moment, I feel powerful shock from behind me. That's weird. I can't breathe. A sharp horn is growing out of my chest. The horn looks like the head of a spear. That's weird. How can a spear be growing out of my chest? Oh, I have not yet told you. I shall formally introduce you. This is my servant. I turn to look back. There, a blue spearman is standing, piercing my chest. The lance is pulled out of my chest. At the same time, a sharp pain runs through my head as if to burn my brain. The floor is painted red. I'm lying on the slimy floor. I push my arms to get up, but my body's too heavy. I can't move. Not because I'm bound, because I lack the things people need to move. The pain in my chest exceeds the blood loss's power to drive me unconscious. I can't pass out. I've taken fatal wounds several times before. They were all so bad that they even numbed my senses. But this is different. It's a fatal wound, but the pain is too real. My vision spins. As soon as I black out from the pain, I'm awoken by the next pain. I can't feel my limbs. I can't even tell where I am. All I feel are pain, nausea, and the temptation it would be so good to just disappear. You did not kill him, right, Lancer? If you did, there was no point in keeping him alive until now. I can only hear voices. I have my eyes open, but I can't see anything. I'll follow your orders, even if they're disgusting ones. Lancer's voice shows no emotion, but I can barely hear it now. Fine, then we shall prepare now. The servant will know the master's danger. It should be about half an hour until Saber gets here. Good, I mean, this kid won't make it that long. You should at least stop his blood loss if you want him alive until then. No need. I don't care if he dies. My mind starts to pass out. Pain finally overcomes my brain and allows me to faint. I stop that by digging into my wound. The pain starts again. My fainting mind returns to the burning world again. I want to die. I want to die right now if this pain's going to continue. I know that. I know that, but if I faint here, I also know that I'll die. I can't even remember what I'm doing now. I feel like I'm floating in this white, burning pain. Say... But I grip my teeth and hold on to my disappearing consciousness. I can't let it end here. I can't retire so easily. I still have a promise I haven't kept. If I believe she's more important than anyone, I can't just disappear here. Status screen updated. Interlude 15:1. When she wakes up, Shiro cannot be found. She thought he might be preparing a late lunch, so she makes her way to the living room, but she can't find neither Shiro nor any lunch. He has gone out alone again. I told him to tell me if he does so. Why does he not listen to me? She complains to herself and sits by the porch. Honestly, I know he likes to walk alone, but that takes away the whole meaning of our cooperation. She swings her legs, not knowing what to do. She soon loses interest in that and looks up as if pondering. The whole sky is shaded in gray. The canopy of clouds is drifting slowly, and an opening can be seen in the distant sky. It should be a clear sky tonight. Once the stars can be seen, tomorrow can be predicted. She still remembers how to read the stars, something she learned from her mage. She only used it to ask her way if her way was right, but she thinks about predicting a certain person's future, just for tonight. And if possible, a bright future. She wants to predict the dangers ahead and guide him in the proper direction. The one she worries about is so reckless, and she cannot sleep unless she does so. Well, the problem is the stars that can be seen from this town. Come to think of it, she's never looked up at the sky until now. All she cared about was winning the Holy Grail War, and not reading stars for anybody else. She knows it's not like her, but she still tries to read the stars, and she waits for nightfall to come. Honestly, this is a big change in her thinking. She continues to stare at the sky, thinking it's just like the young girl in love she read about in her stories. Oh, Saber, do you know where Shiro went? Rin! She gets up like a robot. What is it? It's not like I'm surrendering to Shiro. She says so with a red face. Oh, was I interrupting you? And smiles in an evil manner. She's living under the same roof, but even without that, Emi, Shiro, and Saber's reactions are too easy to understand. She's sharp when it comes to others, so she already knows about them. So of course, she's aware of what happened last night. Well, I'll make fun of you later. Seriously, do you know where Shiro is? I was thinking about asking for his help since Ilia's fever seems to be rising. Ilia's failed? Did she not recover? No, I didn't tell Shiro, but she's almost at her limit. She won't be back to normal until the ritual of the Holy Grail War ends. Her capacity is extraordinary, but it's still filling up. There's a bit of capacity left, so unimportant functions are still working, but once it's full, she'll have to discard her least important function, which is her ability to be human. Ilia's feels made to break down more and more as the Holy Grail War progresses. Rin speaks annoyingly, but Saber doesn't understand what she's trying to say. Oh, it's fine. I said it in a way you wouldn't understand. Let's put Ilia aside for now. It's about Lancer. I found out who his master is. Lancer's master has been identified? Yeah, well... I found out, or more like I knew it. Lancer's master was a foreigner dispatched by the Mages Association. I already knew that, and I finally found her secret base earlier, but... Rin, you should avoid such dangerous activities. If you found that base, you should have told me. I was going to, but it seemed strange from the outside. I went in thinking it was empty. All I found were traces of blood, and a left arm with no command spell. There's nothing else. I think the arm was cut off, but based on how much blood there was, I don't think the master's alive. Lancer's master's already dead. Then Lancer does not exist anymore? They were defeated by another servant after Shiro was attacked 10 days ago? I wish that was the case, but the bloodstains were older than that. Do you know what that means? The servant was not killed, and the master was killed first. So master took the arm, the command spell, and formed a contract with Lancer? But Shiro and I are the only remaining masters, right? The Lancer still remains. And that means a mage who's not a master became one after stealing the command spell. But is that even possible, Saber? No, the transfer of the command spell can only be between masters and servants. No matter how superior the mage, he cannot become a master by stealing a command spell. I see. Then one more question. If a master is still a master if they have their command spells, and their servant even after the Holy Grail... Is a master still a master if they have their command spell and their servant even after the Holy Grail disappears? It is just as you say. As long as the command spell and the servant remain, that mage retains the rights of master even after the Holy Grail War. Saber realized the meaning of Rin's questions and swallows her words. Then you think that the one who killed Lance's master and formed a contract with Lance is? Yeah, I can't think of anything else. In this case, Lance's actions make sense. He seemed like his role was to inspect other servants, right? Usually they expose their true identity when they fight, but he wasn't even hiding his. So that must mean he was only there to collect information. I feel the same way. He did not fight to the end, even when he fought with me. Once they have used a noble phantasm, it should be rule for the servant to kill their enemy. Right, so Lancer's master has another servant. He collected information using Lancer and attacks with this other unknown servant. It's a great strategy. Well, I'm sure it was a pain for Lancer. He had to fight 6 servants, study the techniques, and return to his master. Fighting all 6 servants to a draw. He's quite outrageous in a way. Rin grows quiet and ponders. Did she follow suit? Saber feels a chill for no reason. Lancer's master has already been killed. An unknown master who uses her rogue spirit of that degree just to collect information. And as the master planned, the only servants remaining are Lancer and Saber. If the enemy is such a person, is it not dangerous to leave Shiro by himself, even during daytime? There were several enemies before, but there are no other enemies now. If they only had to defeat Shiro, the enemy might not follow their previous plan. Rin, do you know where Shiro could be? When she starts thinking like that, it will not stop. She cannot leave Shiro alone. Even now, Shiro might be in danger. Huh? I don't know. I asked you because I didn't know. But it might be a Kyrios. You know, I'd have to talk to him, before too. That church... What's wrong, Saber? Do you have something against that church? No, it is not that, but... that church is not a holy place. It is stagnated with death to the same level as the Ryudo Temple. The instant she regrets that, Shiro might be there by himself. A vision of some other place pops into her head. She glares into the distance. She looks in one direction towards Kodamine Church at the top of the hill. There's no time. Saber leaps to the yard and jumps on the wall. Hey, Saber, what are you doing? I'm going to the church. Please take care of the place, Rin. Without even turning to Rin, she jumps off. She runs like a bullet. She reaches the place without even stopping or slowing down. If anybody saw her, they would have just looked like a sudden gust of wind. The wind is clad in silver and blue armor. Saber is armed as soon as she sees the enemy's territory. She did not intend to arm herself. She had decided to arm herself when she entered the church, but she couldn't help it. As soon as she saw the church, her mind burned up and made her arm herself. chest is burning. The nausea that has been assaulting her is not hers. Is it the chill coming from her master? A hopeless scent of death. She doesn't know what was going on. The only sure thing is that Emiyashiro is on the verge of death, and there's no time. His wound could cause him to die at any second. That pain and the chill going around her body causes sickening nausea. It is less than 1,000th of the pain Emiyashiro is feeling. But she still cannot stop her nausea. Her master is wounded that badly. He will not live. She will not make it even if she rushes with Godspeed. He is dying right now, and she might lose her master in front of her eyes. The instant she imagines that, her rationality vanishes. She just has to rush to her master as fast as possible. If God's speed is not fast enough, then she just has to break through the reason of God. Unfortunately, this is God's house, and her enemy is God's messenger. Her angry glare stares down the church. She crashes through the door and enters the chapel. She doesn't see the chairs. She ignores the path and goes through the chapel, through the courtyard, and down the stairs leading into the temple. All that's left are the demolished walls and the floor of the church. Incidentally, she is not that violent. She tried to open the door softly and didn't put that much magical energy into her legs when she kicked off the ground. She just couldn't control them. She goes down the stairs and reaches the underground temple. The sense of death is near. Actually, seeing it, her anger goes over the limit. Anger towards herself, and anger towards the enemy who did such a thing. Yo, I'm sorry, but this is it, Saber. She cannot even hear the voice of Lancer blocking her way. She's straining at her limits, and it seems she cannot loosen up no matter what happens. Her master's down in the darkness, in the back room. In the middle of the room, full of live corpses, he is on his stomach. Blood is pouring out of him, and his gasping can be heard even in this temple. He's alive. All the while she's relieved, she shakes from having left him for so long in that state. Shiro? Saber heads to the back room, but there's a guard in front of it. Holding his lance behind him, the blue spearman looks at Saber with fearless eyes. Yo, I'm sorry, but this is it, Saber. She doesn't even hear his voice. She does not stop. You ignoring me, huh? It is as one would expect for him to block it while he was talking. Lancer blocks Saber's surprise attack, but he could not defeat its power as he retreats to the wall. But that makes the hindrance go away. There's no time to fight Lancer now. She has to save her master who's on the verge of death. Is that kid that important to you? I don't mind, but in that case you really can't leave me alone. Saber stops at the entrance. What do you mean by that, Lancer? Well, I'm the one that stabbed him, but this is actually the second time I did it. He stayed alive that last time I did for some reason, so I pierced him for sure this time. You used Gay Bulg on Shiro? Don't worry, I didn't hit his heart, but the curse is still there. Even you should know the curse from this lance. This is the lance of cause and effect that reverses cause of the effect. The one cursed by this thing cannot change their fate unless they have great luck. To put it simply, the wound made by Gay Bulg cannot be healed. The one cursed cannot heal and bears the wound until they die, as long as this lance exists. That changes the air. Saber's eyes finally regain intelligence. You finally understand. You want to save that kid, right? Then you have to settle your match with me first. Lancer's beast-like killing intent comes at Saber. It is true that Lance is serious, but... Are you insane, Lancer? A Lancer would fight a swordsman in this small a room? I cannot believe such a foolish idea would come from you. I shall let you go if you leave now. Leave that lance and disappear. I do not want to slay you in such an undesirable battle. Isn't that a more foolish idea? What kind of heroic spirit would discard their partner? And pierce him to make some kind of deal. I'm here to fight you, Saber. There is no dishonesty in his words. Lancer does not intend to let either of them leave here alive. For him, this is the first and last battle where he can go full strength. Lancer's wish is not for the Holy Grail. He wishes only for battles appropriate to heroic spirits. Such a simple wish that could have been easily granted to a normal servant was never granted to him until now. Therefore, he has no intention of losing out on what might be his last chance, even if it happens to be an unfavorable situation for him. Alright. Then I shall just slash away that lance along with you. Saber readies her invisible sword and faces the Blue Knight. Well said. To be honest, I'm glad you're the one that's left, Saber. Lance's lance runs like a flash of light. Saber confronts it straight on. The rematch begins with both of them executing powerful blows. Interlude out. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. All I can hear is my own breathing now. I might have a fever that could burn someone to ashes, and it feels like my brain's already melting and pouring out my ears. Stop, 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 stop. Something's wrong. Feels like I don't have a brain anymore, but my body keeps telling me about the pain, and my head accepts it. Help, 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 help. My head is the only thing that's empty. I don't know where my heart or my stomach are either. The nausea is unbearable. There's nothing left to throw up, but the nausea increases without limit. I endure this infinite repetition with gritted teeth. I can stay conscious. It's my pain, so only I have to endure it. There's no problem there. Back, 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 back. So the problem is the voices. My head is empty, I can only hear my breathing, but there's voices still echo in my head. I don't even need to know whose voices they are. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I'm going mad. Every time I hear their voices, I'm stabbed in the chest. It's not scary. I just don't have any way to atone to them. Hey, 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 hey. No matter how much they beg for help and no matter how much I want to help them, I can't. I won't ask them to stop calling to me. It's just that no matter how much they call me, I can't help them. That's why. I think I'll go crazy if this continues. Return it, return it, return it, please. No matter how much they ask, I cannot assent. All I can do is end it for them. I can only fix the contradiction of the living dead. I can only make the creator of this hell atone for his sins. I can't take back any sad events or miserable deaths. That's my limit. A superhero only exists to straighten out what has already happened. Who was it that said that? Since I denied those words, am I being cornered right now? To be honest, I want to run away. I have no way to save them. I can only listen to them. I have no miracle to grant them. I don't even have enough power to deny this claim that a superhero is only so strong. Then if I had a miracle that could save them, would I use it? She is here. Wake up, Emiya Shiro. Your servant has arrived. I hear a voice. It's coming from right behind me, but I can't hear what it's saying. My vision's blurry. There's nothing in front of me. All I sense are the voices asking for help and the figures that are already dead. He's doing well, but he cannot match Saber, as I expected. I need one more servant either way. I do not care whether it happens to be Saber or Lancer. But I shall make a selection before that. I can't hear anything. This man's voice echoes in my head. Well, it's time for your turn. Let us go, Emiya Shiro. My head is lifted. The man grabs my head and pulls me forward. Now lets me feel the man behind me. The man has swallowed black corruption. His heart is black and it seems like he's surrounded by an unknown darkness. And the black corruption reaches in from the outside world, and it's like a chain binding the man. I don't know what it means. Only one thing is clear. This man, Kodamina Kyrie, was just like me. His body has some kind of fatal wound, and he is compensating for it with some unknown something. As I heal using Saber's powers, Kodamina Kyrie is maintaining his corpse-like body with this black corruption. That is it, Saber. Lower your sword if you wish to save your master. What's going on? My vision's still blurry and I can't even raise my head. You too, Lancer. We are partners seeking the Holy Grail after all. We should not kill each other so recklessly. If Saber only came to pick this man up, I will gladly let her do so. A gloomy laugh. Do you think I would believe the words coming from the one who has killed Lance's master and is about to kill my master as well? Who's he talking to? I can't hear the voice, but the sound rings through my fainting mind like a bell. Trust me, I do not wish to fight you. Things have turned out like this, but I will not interrupt you if you seek the Holy Grail. From the beginning, my role is to determine the possessor of the Grail. You two are more than qualified. Therefore, if you wish, I could give you the Holy Grail right here. Are you saying the Holy Grail is here? It is here. The Holy Grail exists everywhere. It is a shapeless vessel to begin with. Its completion depends on when, where, and what is summoned in. The church is sufficient just to summon it. Of course, the Holy Grail is incomplete if there is more than one servant remaining, but it should still be able to grant most wishes. If that is not sufficient for you, then you may continue fighting. I do not want that, but I shall accompany you if you choose so. Is that fine with you, Lancer? It's not. We don't need to go so far. You could decide the match right now if we wanted to. In this situation, you are at a disadvantage in this room, and Saber will not be able to fight if she is cornered for her master. I do not think this would be a satisfying battle for you. Spitting sound. It seems the man has reluctantly agreed. Fine. Then let me ask you one thing. What is the Holy Grail? Is it not meant to appear until there's only one of us left? That thing that summoned just to trick us from the beginning? No, it is true. The Holy Grail will not appear until there's only one servant left. But the vessel in which the Holy Grail will appear is a different story. That is prepared with the shape from the start, and the power flows into it until the Holy Grail is summoned. Since only 2 servants remain, it should begin to acquire power as the Holy Grail. Is that not correct, Saber? You remain to the end of the previous war. You should understand what the Holy Grail prepared by the Einsburns is. Yes, the Holy Grail is always here and wants to be filled with the blood of the sacrifices. But do you not think it is sad? Do you not need to wait until only one remains? It should be possible to grant your wishes right now. So there's no meaning in killing each other right here. Yes, your opinion is certainly correct. But then who are you? Is your objective not to obtain the Holy Grail? I told you that I am but the selector. If an appropriate person exists, I shall gladly give out the Holy Grail. For that, I wish to hear from you, Emiya Shiro. My body moves. My head is grabbed and my body's lifted. It hurts. The wound in my chest opens up. The pain makes my vision go white. You? Do not worry. I only wish to hear his answer. The Holy Grail only answers to those who wish for it. It must interest you whether your master is appropriate for the Grail, is it or not? It is useless. Shiro does not seek the Holy Grail. My master is not so lowly as you. Yes, he said so at the start, but that will not be his true opinion. As every man has his darkness, this man also has a dark side. For instance, did this boy truly curse nothing on that day 10 years ago? Is he not shaking it off by forgetting what lay ahead? Hold on. What's he saying? The fire 10 years ago has nothing to do with this. This is meaningless. Nothing should come out of it. I will open your wound. It is time for your confession, Emiya Shiro. My back arches. My mind reverses like electricity is running through it. In place of my fading mind, a red vision appears. Stop! 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 There's no meaning in this. No one will be saved if I remember this now. Everybody died. Everyone was dead. I was the only one wandering through the fire. The houses had burned down with burned up corpses under them, and sounds of crying came from all around. It hurts, it hurts, it hurts, it hurts. I walked alone. I sought help, and I wanted someone to save me, so I kept walking, not looking to the side. Stop. All the while. How could I think no one was asking for help from me when I could still move? Stop. Help, 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 help. Yeah, I noticed. There's no way I couldn't have noticed. I walked through it all. I ignored the voices sobbing in pain. I ignored the voices going mad trying to escape. I ignored the screams of those not wanting to die. I ignored the pleas of mothers wanting me to take their children. I even ignored the dying eyes that could not ask for help. I kept walking, only seeking help for myself. Wait. I was tired of looking at corpses. I was already tired of seeing people die in pain. I thought I couldn't save them. I thought they would die no matter what I did. That's why I never stopped. Stop. Give it back, give it back, give it back, give it back. I thought I had to live even a second longer because I had to go that far. There were people who died without being able to do anything. As long as I could do something, I thought I had to live. Stop! My heart was almost crushed. I held back my tears and walked on in search of an escape. It was hard to live on while ignoring the pleas for help. I knew it would be easier if I apologized, so I never apologized. I believed that would be my only sincerity, as I could not do anything. Stop! It hurts, it hurts, it hurts. As I wished I alone was saved. The only ones at the hospital were children unfortunate enough to be in the areas near where the fire occurred. I didn't want to know about it, but the man in the white coat told me. In that area, I was the only survivor. Stop already! I saw people dying in pain. I just saw as many sad people. Because there was a funeral for all those who died in a big building. Every kind of sadness and affection for those that died. I thought that. Just stop! Hey. I had to remember every single bit of it. It's only natural. That many people wanted to be helped, and not one of them had their wish granted. So, since my wish was granted, I thought it was only natural for me to take on their deaths. No, I could not hold my head up unless I thought so. No more. Give it back. That's why I frantically chased after Kiritsugu. For those I couldn't save, and for things I couldn't do, I admired a superhero who could save anybody. That was me crumbled away as I ignored pleas for help. I kept moving forward with an empty mind. No more. Please. The people I didn't save taught me that I had to go on. What was lost within all that? I just thought about going forward in place of all the people that died. I couldn't think of anything else. I sealed any memories before that, so I would never think about them. People kinder than anyone else. Memories of those that were my parents. So as not to recall them and go back, I sealed them tight, thinking I was already dead. Don't open it. It's not painful. And Miyashiro was happy being adopted by Emi Kiritsugu. So, you have never thought it was a mistake? I'm telling you, don't open that. Pain. The pain in my chest pulls me back to reality. My nausea doesn't stop. My limbs are numb and my head is burning. My breathing is ragged. Return it. Their voices are echoing in my head. throw up blood. Is it because my body's dying or because I cannot endure the voices? My chest hurts. My chest hurts. My chest hurts. I can't plug it even if I try. What hurts is the pain inside. It will keep hurting as long as the memory is there, and it will never heal. Is it an illusion? I see a figure that should not be there. So I have to bear this. I can't think about wanting to die. If she's here, even an illusion, I have to act like I'm alright. It is a deep wound. It will be painful if it is not healed. You should not end your life bearing that. I hear the priest's voice. The voice is totally unlike him, filled with compassion. You said you do not need the Grail. But is that true? If you can redo what happened 10 years ago, will you not seek the Holy Grail? You can save everything that was lost in that incident. You can eliminate that disaster, not associate yourself with Emiya Kiritsugu, and be your true self. Is that not the only way to save yourself? Redo the incident 10 years ago? Redo myself who survived by not saving anyone? No. More than that, if I could make that incident as if it never happened, so that no one could be hurt. Why? I shake my head. I reject that vision with my burning head. I spit at my own weakness. Because it hurts. I hear their voices. My fingers feel the wet floor. Help. They all want to go back to that day. Yeah, I wanted that too. Though I couldn't have been as bad as you guys. Even after Kiritsugu adopted me, I went to the burned field often to look at the scenery. I went to the place where nothing remained, opened the door that didn't exist, walked through the hallway that didn't exist, and smiled at my mother, who wasn't there anymore. I wanted to return to the days before it happened. I awaited the day when I would wake from this bad dream. That didn't happen, and I accepted reality. But if I could attain a world where it didn't happen and where nobody got hurt, that would certainly be. Now answer, if you wish for it. I shall give you the Holy Grail. The priest with his Holy Grail says, return it. If I wish, these voices will go away. Orphans like me, if fate had taken a slight turn, I would be there as well. So I don't even need to think about this. I don't need to think about it. So why? I don't need it. I can't wish for such a thing. I stare straight ahead at the dead corpses, and I reject them. That is my answer. It doesn't matter what the Holy Grail is. I can't wish to regenerate the dead, nor change the past. Godsaber's tiny compared. Right. You can't redo the past. The dead won't come back. What's done cannot be redone. I cannot wish for such a thing. My cheeks are hot. Every time I say such a miracle is impossible, tears pour out from vexation. I wonder why miracles, wishing for such a normal happiness, are too much for people. I know that last line was for Sujiro, but it also fits for Saber. The Holy Grail makes that possible. Everything will be as you wish. The priest says so, but I can't agree. Even if I could redo the past, I must not take back what has already happened. Because if I do that, everything would be a lie. Those tears, those pains, those memories, that cold reality that hurts my heart, all of it. There were people who died in pain. There were people who risked their lives to save others. There were people who mourned for the deaths. But then, if everything were taken back and it didn't happen, where would all that go? The dead people would not come back. Reality cannot be overturned. To continue on remembering the pain and the weight, isn't that how lost things remain? People will eventually die, and death itself is sad. But pain shouldn't be the only thing that remains. A death is painful, but it also leaves behind bright memories. As I'm bound to these people's deaths, as I'm protected by my memories of Kiritsugu, I believe memories should become constraints and change the people's living now. Even if They are memories that will eventually be forgotten. This path, I don't believe it's the wrong one. I see. Then I don't need the Holy Grail. I can't stray from my path for the people I've left behind. I declare so with my pain. I control the pain of my fading consciousness and manage to stand up on my knees. Then I finally realize I can't hear the voices. The voices aren't echoing anymore. I don't know how they took my answer. But it is sad that they closed their eyes without even a single grudge. That is the answer her master arrived at. The anger she bore until that moment ago has disappeared. She's at a loss for words, staring at her master. This path, I don't believe it's the wrong one. With his bloody body, with his ragged breath, controlling his tears, I can't stray from the path of people I've left behind. He's apologized to everything he has stepped on, but he still declares that he will not change his path. Her vision wavers. She cannot breathe right either. She knew of his past. As Emiyashiro has seen Saber's past, she has also seen his. That is why she thought he would nod. No, she thought he had to nod. She wanted to say that it was not his fault. If he could hear, she wanted to say that it is not something Emiyashiro should be burdened with. Still, he denied it. No matter how painful the past, one cannot redo it. She almost collapses. Those words are too heavy for her. Making an oath and devoting everything you have to its accomplishment. She had felt their ways were similar. But that was just conceit. Only she thought they were similar. They could not be similar. His mind is strong, and she's only able to deny his words was wrong. So you choose your wishes over your savior. The priest lets go of the boy. He looks down at him in annoyance and walks past him as though he lost all interest in him. Then how about you, Saber? That kid said he does not need the Holy Grail, but you must have different opinions. Your goal is to use the Holy Grail to save the world. Do not tell me a heroic spirit like you is egotistical as that kid. Her heart is shaken by his question. The priest says he'll give the Grail. He'll give her the Holy Grail if she has a goal that he'll wish she wants granted. There's no reason to refuse. She fought for that alone. She became a servant for that reason alone. So, what Shiro said shouldn't matter to her. To obtain the Holy Grail, Saber. Then I shall propose an exchange. Saber, kill your master with your own hands to achieve your goal. I shall give you the Holy Grail if you accomplish that. She would do anything. It is an unexpected proposal. She cannot understand it. It's not that she can't understand his words, but such a choice never existed for her. What? You should not hesitate. You can kill this kid before he realizes it. First of all, he can't be saved. Would it not be compassionate to kill him right now? The priest steps aside. Before her is the door leading to the underground cemetery, and a collapsed figure. She walks as if drawn to it. She walks past the priest and enters the damp room. The room is hell. He writhed in this place and it was shown his dark side, and yet he declined the priest's offer. She places her hands on her sword. At her feet is her master, breathing painfully. The end of a long journey, the Holy Grail she desired, at the cost of her life. will be granted just by swinging her sword down. After all, the master and the servant cooperate only up till they obtain the Holy Grail, even if it ends here. What is it? Why do you hesitate? It is for the Holy Grail. I believe it is quite the bargain. The priest's words are true. It is strange to hesitate now, but still. This path, I don't believe it's the wrong one. Those words will not leave her. It is vexing, but she isn't like Shiro. She wants to redo everything. On that day, there was someone better suited to become king, someone else to pull the sword, and that person must have been able to build a more peaceful country. That is her heart that holds her country dear. That is the doubt of the girl Artoria before she became a king. That mind, the mind she left behind on the day she drew that sword. Why didn't she realize it before? I can't stray from my path, from the people I left behind. That is her heart that holds her country dear. It is the mind of a girl before she became a king. But it's not the heart of a king. The only one the king believed in was herself. To deny that would be to deny everything she has taken away. Things lost will never return. Her master continued to appeal in his pain. His figure hurts her so much. What did she tell him? That she could not start a new life? She continued to refuse him, saying that she had a duty as the king. What duty was that? To resurrect the destroyed country? To choose a more appropriate king? Or does she only wish to make the destruction never have happened? That is wrong. Yeah, that is wrong. She was raised and lived as a king. There was no mistake. So, if the result was ruin, why could she not accept it? There are no regrets. If one can be proud of one's life, one should not wish for another chance. I see now, Shiro. Shiro's lamentations pierce her heart. He said that tears would go away, the pain would go away, that the heaviness in her heart would go away as well. That is salvation by elimination. But if everything were made to never have happened, what would happen to all the things taken away? She's taken away so many things, killed so many. To bear the pain and regret, it is the requiem. So if she wishes for another chance, it should be from this moment on, and not from the past. If there's something she could not do, she could not go back to the past to accomplish it, but rather, she would start to establish the wishes that never came true from this moment on. But she's no longer king, as she has lost her country. So her wish should be for herself, as he says. No. That is not something that should be wished for. It was her decision to become king. It was never painful for her. Even if no one understood or accepted her, she believed that what she desired was something she could be proud of. At the least, the girl pulled the sword out believing so. That is the answer. Just like him, that is the only answer she can be proud of. Yes, she remembers the oath that she made a long time ago. Something she has kept to herself. She decided to fight, even if it meant losing everything and fighting everything. I was the foolish one. The oath of the king to fight, even in that condition. The king protected the country, but the country did not protect the king. That is all. The result was cruel, but if there was nothing to be ashamed of in the process, there was no need to seek it. She swore to accomplish her duties as king. Even if the result was her destruction, she fulfilled that oath until the very end. So, she does not need anything else. Yes, she did not want everything. From the beginning, there was only one thing she wanted. She lost many things to obtain it, but there was something she protected until the very end. With that in mind, Let her end the dream that was never granted. I want the Holy Grail, but I cannot kill Shiro. Pointing her sword at her enemy, she says so from the bottom of her heart. What? Do you not understand, fool? Do you not understand, fool? I said I favor Shiro more than that thing. That is why her role was already determined. To be his sword and shield. And so, she cannot hesitate any longer. Are you saying you do not want the Holy Grail? I do not wish it if it will dirty me. I already have everything I wanted. Yes, everything was there. Her pride as a knight, and her oath as the king. Even the dream of the girl Arturia wished for. I heard those words. The confession of the girl who wished for the Holy Grail. She confessed that she no longer needs such a thing. Say. Controlling my ragged breath, I call her name. Even though I can't see her, I can tell she's nearby. My pain is subsiding. I don't know if it's because she's near me, but the wound is starting to heal. Can you stand, Shiro? Please take my hand if you can. Yeah. I can. I take her hand. Ugh. My vision recovers. Energy starts to flow into my weak body. I take a sip of the water that I had stored in my person. Also, make sure to straighten your back, guys. Saber, this is... Yes, even the curse of the Gabal will not be effective against you now. It shall heal completely if you stay by my side. But rather... Saber turns to look towards the underground temple. Beyond the door, at the exit of this room, stands the last master, Kodomine Kyrie, and Lancer. That actually would be a really nice place to end it, but like I said I'd continue until we stop. So. I see. You observe us as if seeing us for the first time. You two are boring. He spits out an emotionless voice. It seems I will have to keep the Holy Grail after all. But that'll be rather violent. The Holy Grail needs to be complete to grant me my wish. I'm sorry, but you must die here, Emiya Shiro. I try to stand ready, but my body still won't move. I can barely stand by taking Saber's hand. I can't fight like this, and more than anything, I'll be a burden on Saber. You're worrying needlessly, Shiro. Please stay here. I shall be able to take on both of them. Oh, you have a lot of confidence. Do you think it'd be wise to run now, Lancer? Lancer doesn't respond. First of all, Kodomine doesn't sound like he's in danger. He's just saying he's scared of us. Kodomine, I shall ask before I defeat you. What are your intentions? What do you wish as the supervisor of the Holy Grail? Well, to put it simply, I wish for entertainment. But that's not something I need in a hurry. To be frank, I do not have much interest in the Holy Grail, but that matches my tastes. If there is no appropriate owners, I shall take it for the sake of the world. Ridiculous. What are you trying to claim after killing a master and becoming a master yourself? You must have intended to obtain the Holy Grail from the beginning. Nonsense. I came by it by chance. I killed Lance's master because outside mages are troublesome. I did not want outsiders to discover the true nature of the Holy Grail, so I had the master leave at an early stage. But it would not have been smart to eliminate the servant as well. I needed a piece to hasten the fighting, so I just borrowed Lance's master's rights as a master. What? Then Kodomine became a master by killing Lance's master? There's a lot of repetition in the way this is written. I see. I shall not ask any more about yourself. But I will have you fulfill your duty as a supervisor. Where's the vessel? The vessel of the soul of this war. What? Do you mean you were hiding it without realizing it? He gasps in surprise, but only for an instant. After looking us over with pleasure, he snaps his fingers to bring in the latest character. And we do mean latest. The two tense up. Hard footsteps descend from above. Well, it probably isn't necessary, but let me introduce him anyway. This is the servant Archer. He is the heroic spirit that was my partner in the last Holy Grail War. The Golden Knight appears. It is Gilgamesh, AUO. The atmosphere changes immediately. Gilgamesh, appearing suddenly, crosses the temple and stands by Kotomine. So, what are you gonna do now, Kotomine? Are we settling the match with these nuisances here? I don't think this is good directing on your part. Do not say that. I was not expecting this either. I shall listen to your complaints later, so forgive me. Oh, if you understand, it's fine. But you cannot do something about that vulgar man. I might kill him if he glares too much at me. What the hell is this, Kotomine? That man's your servant? Oh, I did not explain to you yet. He is my servant from the previous war. We shared the same feelings after the last war ended. Since he obeyed me and I prepared sufficient food for him to stay here, we ended up cooperating. So that's the reason for that disgusting room? Fine, but why didn't you tell me about it? Do you think there was a need to? Or did you want to cooperate with him on your mission? No way. I'd rather die than cooperate with that guy. Well, now there's three. Lancer is by the stairs, and Gilgamesh is standing in the temple. There's no way we can win. We can't even match Gilgamesh. We can't run away if Lancer's there too. Kotomine, you said you didn't know about him. Do not doubt me. I'm a priest. I can't lie. That's just a facet. What? You said you couldn't ignore a servant from the last war. Yeah, I was surprised by it as well. I ordered Archer to stay here, but he disobeyed me and went to attack you. It is only natural for you to discover me if you investigate Archer, therefore I had to come up with some sort of plan. See? I didn't lie to you at all. I'm pissed. That guy tricked me as I came straight to the enemy base. So, you are Archer's master? Correct. This is much like a repeat of 10 years ago. Well, I was unable to witness the final moment since Kiritsugu had already defeated me. This will be the second and the last time I shall see you. Answer me. Why does Archer still remain? What caused that fire? Why are you even still alive after being beaten by Kiritsugu? Saber's angry as there's hatred in her voice. A question long unanswered, as if asking something like the crime of the disaster 10 years ago. I don't even need to tell you. 10 years ago, the Holy Grail was incomplete, but full, and it was possible to obtain it. I merely touched it. You and Kiritsugu were powerful, so I wished for a diversion to separate you two. But I was surprised by the diversion that occurred. He's drifting into British. Whatever. Hold on. Could that be... Then you caused that fire with the power of the Holy Grail? Who knows? I think the Holy Grail would have done the same thing even if I was someone else. It is a thing of that nature. People call it an omnipotent vessel, but only blood, darkness, and curses fill it. You saw it as well, right? The darkness that spilled out from it when you destroyed the Holy Grail. It only spilled onto Archer. Archer would not have lost his way if you had not destroyed the Grail. Nonsense. The Holy Grail is a magical vessel that grants the wishes of its possessor. That fire must have been your wish. Only the result. The process was not what I had in mind. I only wished for people to be gone from that place. In any case, you lack imagination. Your wishes will be granted. That is fine. But how will your wish be granted? Do you think the world would change the instant you wish? I do not know about the original Holy Grail, but this Holy Grail is merely a vortex of power. It cannot make precise calculations or correct any inconsistencies. It is only pure power. It is like a great weapon. If the possessor wishes for great wishes, it will kill everything around it to bring happiness to its possessor. And do you understand? The magical vessel is a defective item. It can only grant the wishes of its possessor through a method called destruction. What? That was not what was promised. Is the Holy Grail not something that will grant the wish to its possessor? It is. The measure that the Holy Grail takes are very reasonable. Letting one person survive means killing another. This world is one of equal exchanges. Wishing for some special event means feeding on something to make it happen. Wishes will not come true if you worry about harmony. It is merely a fluctuation dependent on the plundering of the weak. It is the most efficient fluctuation. I can understand Zebra's surprise. If Kotomini is telling the truth, this Holy Grail is far from the Holy Grail she wished for. The power that only grants the wish of its possessor. The usurper that grants the wish of its possessor at the cost of everything else. This is the true identity of the omnipotent power given to the master and the servant. Then, the Holy Grail is a poisoned vessel that eliminates everything but its possessor. You will know when you see it. It is a true curse. And that delights me. Touching the Holy Grail is a dream for a man of the church, but this Holy Grail exists to kill everything, and to be able to control that, it is like a dream. Saying that, the priest laughs. It is not a polite laugh like before, a laugh from the bottom of his heart, a holy laugh without any evil. That laugh forces me to realize the man is not human. I can't let him have the Holy Grail over anyone. Then, this is goodbye. Take care of this trash. Lancer, take the boy. Archer takes Saber. The priest turns his back and goes up the stairs. The only ones left are me and the two servants. And Saber, standing as if to guard me, glaring at our enemies. Time passes. We have to defeat Lancer and Gilgamesh to escape outside. It's impossible to beat them. We have to do something and regroup, but... Shiro. Saber mutters while looking at the enemy ship. I know, I'm asking for something impossible, but please try to stay beside me. She grasps my hand firmly. That tells me she's ready. Alright, I'll do my best to follow you, so don't worry about me. I nod to her. I can barely walk right now. Saber and I both know that. With that in mind, Saber has told me she will break through this. So what can I do but nod? Yeah, I trust you. She replies in a small voice. Now! Letting go of my hand, Saber runs to the temple. The two figures react to her movement. What? Only Saber and I are surprised. What happened? Lance's lance that should have attacked me goes for Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh's longsword repels Lance's lance as if expecting it. Sorry I missed. I see. Your lance must be pretty light. The two separate without any sign of hostility. Your target is that mongrel. Do you remember that I'm in charge of Saber, right? Oh, yeah, that. Sorry, but I changed my mind. He didn't order me with the command spell, so I'm not gonna obey him. Saying so, Lancer faces Gilgamesh as if protecting us. What? Lancer? You are... What? If it's something stupid, don't say it. I'm not helping you or anything. I'm just following my beliefs. Lancer points his lance at Gilgamesh. He really intends to let us go. Well, I'm at my limit too. I'm not nice enough to listen to his orders while he looks down on me with this much. I'm cutting ties with Kodamine right now. Oh, you're breaking your contract with him? So you do not mind being eliminated now, even though the Holy Grail is right in front of you? Don't treat me like you. I've never had any interest in a second life. No hero is interested in such a thing. We're not attached to this world. We're just attached to the oaths we couldn't fulfill. Well, I guess a greedy apparition like you wouldn't understand. I see. A man with a brilliant death has something different to say. So this betrayal is a result of your heroic pride as well, huh? Jeez, following your belief sure is hard, Lancer. The air behind him distorts. Weapons appear in empty space. Lancer? He has all the original noble phantasms. He is the king of heroes with the longest history. Even you cannot take him head on. Damn, I see. No wonder he's so conceited. He's the guy who destroyed his own country just by doing whatever he wanted. Of course he's twisted. Lancer, this is no time to be bluffing. Just get lost. Who are you to give me advice? I don't think I'm on your side just because I protected you. Jeez, this is why I don't like well-mannered knights. Lancer urges Saber to run. Saber hangs her head for a second. Good luck. I shall return this favor. Taking my hand, she runs up the stairs. Damn, I let them go. Gilgamesh just watches us go, not trying to follow us. Well, so Saber wasn't your target? Well, to be honest, such a match did not suit my taste. If you had not done this, I would have done the same thing. We go up the stairs. She's worried about me, so we aren't going up that fast. Ignoring our slow pace, the confrontation underground escalates without limit. The murderous intent continues to grow. What do you mean by that? Do you intend to let Saber go as well? Of course. I had no intention to kill Saber. That thing is mine. But I cannot stay idle if I want the Holy Grail. I need just one more servant to die for the ritual to be completed. 1,000 swords appear. The Golden Knight grins. That's why he was able to block Lancer's surprise attack. Lancer wasn't the only one trying to launch a surprise attack on his ally. Damn, so this is your plan all along. I told you I would have done the same thing had you not done so. You deserve praise, Cuchulainn. This situation is ideal for me. The distance between the two decreases. Before I see them clash, we leave that place. We do not get to see the cool fight. Sag. But we're fine. Ugh. I stop. My body tells me I'm at my limit. Let us rest here, Shiro. You cannot continue in your condition. Yeah. I'm just causing you trouble. Like this. I move away from Saber and sit down on the grass. The wound on my chest is still there. It stopped bleeding, but the hole is still there. Ugh, I feel sick. Even though the pain is gone, I have a hole in my body. Just looking at it makes me sick, and I wonder why I'm alive like this. Shiro, let me look at your wound. Saber crouches and looks into my chest. It's kind of weird. No, that's alright. Excuse me, this'll hurt a bit, so please bear it. Saber's finger runs across my chest. Then, I don't know why, but she places her hand over my wound. Digs into it. Ah. My body jumps. Saber's hand mercilessly digs into me and... You... What? She's digging into me with her bare hands. It should hurt. It should hurt, but... Huh? There's no pain. Rather, pain seems to disappear around the places Saber touches. I'm done, Shiro. I restored magical energy to the sheath, so your wound should heal in half a day. Taking your hand off my chest, Saber looks relieved. Sheath? I don't understand. Saber, what do you mean by sheath? I think you mentioned it before, but... Could it be your sheath? Saber's sheath. The sheath on the sword Excalibur. The sheath of her sword is not invisible air. In the legend, the sheath of Excalibur was a noble phantasm that makes its possessor immortal. But she couldn't have that. She shouldn't have that. King Arthur died in the Battle of Camlain because that sheath was lost. Saber shouldn't have the sheath right now. Yes, my sheath is inside your body. It is my fault for not realizing that fact until last night. In my body? That's crazy. What are you talking about? There's no way. Is that so? It was simple from the beginning. You summoned me, Shiro. It was foolish of me to think that it was by chance that I was summoned. To summon a heroic spirit, one needs a symbol connected with that spirit. Since you are inexperienced as a mage and uneducated as a master, you needed a connection that would overcome all those deficiencies. That was my sheath. The lost sheath of Excalibur. Well, I mean, that may be true. But why would it be in my body? Kiritsugu probably put it there. It made Kiritsugu use the sheath of Excalibur as a catalyst to summon me in the last one. The sheath is a noble phantasm that heals its possessor's wounds. He must have thought that it would be more useful for him to keep it. I have healing powers and I do not die easily. If the master who dies easily has the sheath, they have a better chance of surviving the Holy Grail. War. Then Father survived the war because he was like me? Probably. And after the battle and after I disappeared, Kiritsugu wandered through the burned field and found a dying child. He had no healing powers, and even if he did, I assumed it was too late. So I believe there's only one way for him to save the child. I unconsciously placed my hand on my chest. On that day 10 years ago, I accepted death, looking up at the sky. My whole body was burned, and maybe it really was burned to ashes. When Kiritsugu found a kid, barely alive, he had to rely on what he had on hand. The sheath of the holy sword that protects the life of its possessor. He must have saved that dying life by implanting the sheath. Then, it really is? Yes, it has been disassembled and lacks its original form, but your body certainly contains the sheath. It is the cause of your healing powers. But I almost died once. I was pierced by Lancer at school and... That is right. Oh, that's right. Someone saved me at that time. When I came to, there was no one there and all I found was a rock. I took the rock home because I thought it was something cool, but is it still at my house right now? That was before we made a contract, correct? The sheath in my noble phantasm. It does not exhibit its power as a noble phantasm until the magical energy is channeled into it. You cannot obtain your immortality unless you make a contract with me. Well, I'm sure it will protect the possessor's life if any magical energy is in it, but it will be weak. I'm sure fusing with the sheath was the only way to save a dying person. I see, I'm sorry, Saber. Your sheath was used for something like this. Please do not say such a thing. You are my master, so it is only natural for you to use what is mine. And I was happy when I learned about it. Even though I could not save anybody, I had saved your life. Her smile is so brilliant that I have to look away. Shiro, does your wound hurt? No, it's not it. Just don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with you. I had my blushing face and shut my mouth. There's no pain if I don't speak, but this is really weird. I wonder how long we've been like this. Just as I start to calm down, Saber quietly says, Kiritsugu is correct. He did not betray me. She says so as if regretting her past. Saber? That Holy Grail was not what I sought. No, I did not need the Holy Grail to begin with. Kiritsugu must have known that. I remember it sounds more like a confession. Sarah apologized to a person she cannot apologize to anymore. And she looks at me to part with the wish she held on for so long. She doesn't say anything. My heart understands just by being beside her. Artoria sought the Holy Grail. A lonely king we needed to believe that ruin was avoidable with the Holy Grail. If a girl who wished for that would happen, sorry, if a girl who wished for that, for what would happen if she could redo this election. Saber, that's... I knew it. I knew I could not redo things. I knew it, but I still continued to deceive myself. But this is the end. Her long battle will finally end. Thank you, Shira. I finally understand the path I need to take. Yes, the Holy Grail and I are just dreams that must not exist. She murmurs that she would like to be forgiven. It was a mistaken wish, days that were not allowed to be wished for, but the weakness was just a passing dream a girl saw. What should I feel by listening to her? Saber's answer is beautiful. A decision full of dignity and purity, just like her. She's proud of her past and has accepted the end that awaits her. And now, Saber has decided to follow her oath until the very end. She doesn't even need to tell me what that means. She will not hesitate any longer, and I find that beautiful. A dark night. From the moment I was captivated by her figure in the moonlight, I have loved her. So, regardless of what awaits ahead, there's only one thing to be done. Saber, let's destroy the Holy Grail. I say so, throwing aside my attachment and my selfishness. Yes, I believed that you would come to that conclusion, Master. Saber nods in response. I can't smile back at her. It takes all I have to suppress my heart, telling me I don't want this. But still, there will surely come a day when I can be proud of being trusted like this. I get up. Now that I've decided, there's no time to rest. It's clear what must be done, and the enemy is clear as well. There's no time to stop. Today, we will end this long battle before tomorrow comes. Damn, that'd be a good place to stop. Whatever. With Saber helping me walk, I make it back home. The wound in my chest isn't healed yet. According to Saber, I should stay still for at least a few more hours. I bite my lip. I hate my body, unable to move when it's clear that what needs to be done. Shiro, were you considering something rash just now? No, I wasn't thinking about anything. I will get angry if you push yourself too hard. We will go into battle as soon as your wound heals. This will be our last battle, so let's face it in our best condition. Right. We have to prepare and not be impatient. Where Kodomine went. How we beat Gilgamesh. There are many things to think about. I have to rest for now and prepare myself for later tonight. At that instant, my mind stops. Huh? There's no sign of anyone. The air is different. Amidst the smell of burning, I can also smell the strong scent of blood. I run. I ignore my wound and run like I'm running away from the bad feeling I have. I run through the hall, turn the corner, into the familiar room. There. The scene before me is anything but familiar. Saka. My voice shakes. I don't know what happened. All I know is that Tosaka is looking at me, breathing weakly. Oh, you're home at last. Jeez. I was about to go to sleep. Idiot. I don't know what she intends, but she's talking to me normally, even though she has a wound that should make even talking difficult. Hey, don't talk, idiot. You're the idiot. Damn it, stop the bleeding. Saber, bring me towels. Hot water in a bowl. Saber nods silently and runs to the bathroom. Bandages, antiseptic. No, they won't do. Doctor, I had to get to a doctor and do something. I pull out the first aid kit and still in a panic. No, I've treated my own wound, so I don't need a doctor. There's something more important though, right? What? Tosaka stares at me, breathing hard. Tosaka? I don't know what she's on about. but I nod, thinking that I have to listen to her for now. Are you really okay? This is... It's fine. I can treat my own wounds. But, I'm sorry. You went off with trusting me, but I couldn't protect Ilya. Huh? That finally calms me down. Tosaka's injured. The living room is destroyed, and Ilya should be here, but isn't. Kodamine did this? She nods. I don't even need to ask since he's the only one left. But only Saber and I knew that Kodamine was our enemy. It must have been a complete surprise attack for Tosaka, because the 7th Master happened to be her teacher and guardian. Don't apologize. Even you wouldn't be able to do anything if you were suddenly attacked. In spite of what you said, you trusted Kodamine. Yeah, I guess I was conceited, thinking I could do everything myself. She coughs up blood. Shit, I can't let her talk. Let's talk later. Don't move for now. I'll treat your wounds and let you rest. Yeah, please. But I have to tell you something first. Look, Shiro. This is my last piece of advice, so listen carefully. I don't want to hear words like that, but I nod silently. She's looking at me seriously with that wound of hers. I don't know if anybody would be able to stop her. First, Kodamine's objective was Ilya. He must have known from the beginning that she was the vessel of the Holy Grail. What? Ilya's the Grail? To be more accurate, her heart is. Mages are people with magic circuits, but Ilya is a human being made from magic circuits. I think she'll become the vessel to summon the Holy Grail as soon as there's only one servant left. Then, Kodamine took Ilya? He took her, but... As long as Saber's still alive, the path won't open. Kodamine won't try to do anything to her. I can only hope so. Lancer isn't an easy servant to beat either. He can't match Gilgamesh, but he might be able to at least run away. I can only hope so, but I can't tell Tosaka about that right now. It's all right. I'll go save Ilya. You can depend on me. I see. And the second thing. I think Kodamine is at the Ryudo Temple. It's the best place to summon the Holy Grail. He'll be out of the church already, so he has to be hiding that temple. Okay, so Kodamine is at Ryudo Temple, right? It must be hard for her even to move her neck now. But Tosaka gives a slight nod. Then, this is the last thing. You won't be able to beat Kyrie. Are you still going to fight him? Question. The question is not asked as a friend called Tosaka Rin, but as a mage who understands the situation. I mean, like, even so... My answer is already decided. I have no choice of winning. The situation is the worst possible. Still, I'm going to fight. I owe him for a lot. I can't back off no matter what. Kodamine Kyrie is an enemy Emiya Shiro has to defeat. I have to settle things with him. As the one who survived 10 years ago. As one of the orphans. And as the son of Emiya Kiritsugu. I see. Then I'll give you this. It's just for self-defense, but it should be better than nothing. Saying so, Tosaka reaches behind her and takes out a knife. Dagger, whatever. This is all too famous a dagger. It's a dagger for rituals more than for battles. A magic wand shaped like a sword, used to form magic circles and to affect physical divine mysteries. The word Azov is carved into the jewel in the handle. The blade must be Tosaka's preference, as it's shorter than usual. This weapon, favored by a famous occult scholar who pretty much dominated the world, is called the Azoth Sword. It's like the proof of adulthood for a mage, and it's like a gift you get for getting into school. Tosaka, this is... You should be able to tell it's my dagger. It's weak compared to my jewels, but I put magical energy into it from time to time. You can activate it by yelling "Last" and putting as much magical energy into it as you can. The dagger she gave me is heavy. Not physically, but the weight of memories Tosaka has in it. Tosaka, is it really okay for me to take this? It's fine. I realized I couldn't be Kyrie, so I hid this from him. I don't want it to go to waste, so go ahead and use it. Alright, I'll take it. Honestly, any additional weapons will be helpful. Oh, you're pretty smart. Then, is it okay now? I'm getting really sleepy already. She laughs awkwardly. Before I realize it, Saber's standing behind me, waiting to treat Tosaka. Yeah, go ahead. I'll wake you up in the morning. Then I'll make you a huge breakfast. I think I'll do that. Oh, and this isn't advice, it's an order. Shiro, if you're going to fight, you have to win. I won't forgive you if you're dead when I wake up. She must be satisfied after saying all that. Tosaka falls asleep right after that. She looks so healthy that I feel stupid for worrying about her. But, well, that was her way of cheering me on, and she did share some of her courage with me. Yeah. Leave it to me, Tosaka. I tell the sleeping Tosaka. The board's all set. Now I just have to pass the few hours until my wound heals without regrets. How do we do it? The date changes. We treated Tosaka, took her to her room, made dinner, and ate it silently. Just a little longer. The wound is almost healed. There's only an hour or two left. In the remaining time, I will not do that. I will not do that. We need to have a plan. A talk plan. Yeah. There's only one thing to do. We've always done so. So I should follow that until the very end. It's not romantic or elegant, but it would be more like us if we met and come up with a plan. Shiro, coming up with a plan is fine, but is this the right place for it? No, I gotta be here. Let's go in. It's not like I don't have any ideas. Okay, if you say so, I will obey. Saber reluctantly goes into the shed. Well, I have my reasons for bringing Saber to the shed. We don't have any way to match Gilgamesh right now. It goes without saying that we need a plus alpha factor. So, I have to give Saber back her sheath. Let's return the sheath to the rightful owner. I don't know if I'll succeed until I try, but Saber put her hand on my body to check for the sheath's existence. Then it shouldn't be impossible to take it out. What? Are you serious, Shiro? I'm serious. It's yours to begin with, right? So it's only natural to give it back to you, and you may be able to beat him if you have it. My magical energy would certainly increase if I have my sheath back, but I still cannot guarantee that I'll be able to beat Gilgamesh, and if you take out the sheath, what will you do? If you take the sheath out, I won't heal even if I get hurt. But that's normal. I've relied too much on this body of mine without even knowing it. People die when they are killed. I can't be protected from such a normal thing now. Take the sheath, Saber. We need to do this to win. Biting her lip painfully, Saber doesn't even answer. I don't know how long that lasted. Just as the clouds disappear and the moonlight starts to shine in through the window. All right, Master. I shall borrow your heart. Saber nods at my words. Then I shall begin. Are you ready, Shiro? Yeah, go right ahead. Saber agrees. Saber places her hand on my chest and plunges it into my body. My job is easy. Taking out the sheath is similar to the steps in the projection magic. The sheath of the holy sword is melted into my body. I just need to gather it into one place and form it like it was before. Of course, it's just an image. I say I'll return to original form, but it's only the magical energy that will be shaped like that. The saber's the one that gives it a shape. The cluster of magical energy will take shape in Saber's, the possessor's hand. I'm just helping her, as if making something from nothing. I take the scattered pieces of the sheath and carefully reproduce it without flaw. My body's burning. Projection is way beyond my level. The magic surely kills my body every time I use it. It destroys my nerves, burns my skin, crushes my brain, and makes me a vegetable. But it's the only weapon I have, and this is the only way to help Saber. I imagine her figure as I saw it in my dreams. The golden sheath suited to the king who ran through many battles. I take what protected the king and led her to numerous victories and reproduced it vividly without any mistake. So that no matter what happens, I engrave it into my mind so that I will not forget, no matter what kind of end awaits us. I hear Saber's voice. Something that was binding my body for a long time escapes my body. Amazing. This is excellent, Shiro. No one else would be able to reproduce it so perfectly. It must be perfect, as Saber seems surprisingly happy. My body's burning, and I fall on my ass. Shiro, you're sweating a lot. I'll bring you something to wipe it right away. Saber runs to the house. Listening to her footsteps, I let out a sigh. I felt that it was perfect too. It was so perfectly done. I believe no future projection will be as perfect as that. Bye. Thanks for everything. I bid farewell to that which was part of me until now. The golden sheath that protected her. I will never forget it. Even if it leaves my body, its figure has been engraved into my heart. The moon is distant. The clouds have cleared, and the darkness is a dim blue glow. Daybreak is close. The long night is about to end. This is the final moment. Going through that night, Saber and I have reached our final destination. Shiro, this is... Saber sounds tense. I feel the same way. As I nod, I can feel sweat dripping down my neck. The mountain feels like one big, living thing. The wind coming down from the mountain gate is warm, and the shaking trees seem like breathing lungs. Chills and pressure assail my every time I take a step. No, the air really is thick and wet. Man is dense here. It's just like 10 years ago, I expect. The summoning of the Holy Grail has begun, or it's already over. Either way, that must mean the Lancer has fallen to Gilgamesh. I'm going to make sure, Saber. After we reach the top, all that's left is to fight. You take care of Gilgamesh. I'll take care of his master, Kodamine. We won't assist each other. We just have to be one of our opponents. Yes, I will concentrate on my own fight at this time, and Kodamine is an enemy you must defeat. Yeah, leave him to me. You too, Saber. Don't let that guy beat you. Yes, I will swear it on my pride it will not defeat me. Not as a servant, but as a heroic spirit, I cannot allow him to beat me. Saber says so strongly without hesitation or distress. So there's nothing more to say. We will go into battle and determine the winner as the last remaining masters. Even if in the process, if one of us dies, the other need only defeat their enemy. Even if I die, if Saber beats Gilgamesh, Kodamine will be able to obtain the Holy Grail. At the same time, even if Saber dies, if I defeat Kodamine, Gilgamesh won't be able to stay in this world. So there's no need to help each other. Our battles have already gone their separate ways. We go up the stone stairs. The air gets denser the closer we get to the mountain gate. Sweat drips down my neck. Ominous premonitions prick at my skin. Our strongest opponents await at the end of these stairs. But I really don't care about that. We go up the stairs. The mountain gate is approaching. This is the end. No matter who wins this battle, Saber will disappear. The long and short days of battle will end, and Saber will vanish from this world. She's going to return to her proper time. I can't say I have no regrets. Losing Saber, losing the one I promised to protect, the one whose happiness I wished for. I don't know yet how hard it'll be, We're still walking together, and I can feel her presence. I'm not yet ready to lose her. Even if I knew many days ago, even if I knew from the moment we met there would be a parting at the end. Thinking back, there were so many memories. Nights when we walked together, times we fought together. I selfishly tried hard in the beginning, thinking that I couldn't let a girl fight. She trained me hard in that dojo. I slept in the shed because I was unable to sleep with a girl in the next room. We had lunch together. Saber liked the bath, was satisfied when the food was good, liked the clothes Chosaka prepared for her, and talked with Fujimi. She pushed herself, took all the burdens onto her shoulders, and finally collapsed. And we shared our hearts in the ruin. I've been crazy since then. I couldn't think of anything but Saber, and after my reasons for fighting changed, I realized I loved Saber. How can I lose someone like this? Saber doesn't say anything. I can't say anything either. When these stairs end, if we reach the top, there'll be nothing for us to talk about. Losing Saber and parting ways with her will happen in the future. But this moment is the only time allotted to us for farewells. We go up the stairs. If I don't want to say goodbye, I can just talk to her about meaningless things, like going to town again after we go home, or what she wants for breakfast tomorrow morning. Such meaningless things. But I can't even talk about such things. If I talk, that'll be our final conversation. A clear end. Neither of us can offer a clear farewell. And so, we reach the mountain gate. This is the final choice. If we go on, it will end. But if we go back, I might be able to find a way to avoid losing her. Saber? I stop and turn back to her. Saber's the same as always. A tense stare with a composed expression. The moment I see it, all kinds of temptation attack me. Like, let's run away. Like, what if I don't want to lose her? I can go back. She would accompany me if I wished. My determination wavers. That temptation rises in my throat, but I stop it. Let's go. This will be our last battle. I declare that as a master, just as I always have. Saber nods silently. Her eyes are strong-willed as always. So I won't have any regrets. And she believes in me. I too will believe that my choice is correct. We start for the mountain gate. We head into battle with no return. I couldn't say anything, and I couldn't tell her what I really wanted to tell her. But I want to believe that this silence was able to tell her my feelings. The long stairs we climbed together. This is our final memory of our time together. Red light fills the mountaintop. The billowing wind is getting stronger. It seems the source of it is of that light, coming from the back of the grounds. The red phosphorescence scatters in the wind, and the grounds are too bright for nighttime. Stagnant air filled with the presence of death. This is like the fire back then. But it isn't like that. Within all this red light, something's about to emerge. From the back of the building, black darkness oozing the bright red. If this clearing is like a clear lake, that mud is like an oil spill. Mud that spreads, taints the ground, does not kill anything it swallows. It's like a visible curse. I'm a mage too. I can sense that thing only reacts to the human mind and only swallows human bodies. You're finally here. I have been waiting for you, Saber. He is there, within all the rich colors. Ignoring the blood red and the death-stained black, the servant clad in gold is waiting for us. No, for Saber in the middle of the place. And the time's about right. The Holy Grail's finally moved into action, and the void has just opened. This curse is the contents of the Holy Grail, the third element which keeps the servants in the world. This is what she splashed me with 10 years ago. Gilgamesh is only looking at Saber. It goes the same for Saber. She takes a step forward and points a sword at the knight in front of her. Gilgamesh, what do you intend? What do you wish for with that curse? That thing falsely presented as the Holy Grail? I have told you that I have no wish. I do not care how Kotomine will use the Holy Grail. For now, my only concern is you. As if to answer Saber, the Golden Knight raises his hand. At the same time, the air behind him sways like a haze. The king's treasure, hundreds of noble phantasms, are loaded like bullets. Yes, the time has finally come. I've been looking forward to this all this time, Saber. How to pin you down and make you swallow that. The way you'll be able to stop yourself from going crazy, disgracing yourself and begging at my feet. Unable to, whatever. Well said. Then you shall have no objections to yourself meeting that exact fate. Another step. Saber steps into range of the many noble phantasms. This isn't a battle I can do anything about. The battle between Saber and Gilgamesh is something that no human can interfere with. That's what I expected of you, Saber. That strong spirit, even though you know you cannot defeat me, it is indeed suitable to end this party, but I do not want any intrusions. You, mongrel, disappear right now. If you want to see Kotomine, he's waiting for you at the altar. Kotomine is waiting. I glance at Saber. She nods while looking at Gilgamesh. Her figure tells me that she is wishing me her best. I turn around. The one I need to face isn't here. Behind me. As I run, I hear the battle start. At the back of the building, behind the main temple, is a large lake. Untouched by humans, the lake is holy as if a dragon king lives in it. The clear blue water is pure, and the lake isn't even murky. But that's all in the past. And the lake now has none of these characteristics. The red light is in front of my eyes, in the sea of black tar. And don't look too closely at that. The void created in the air, and the girl presented as a sacrifice. Koto. Mine. My calm mind instantly goes over the limit. I stop and glare at my enemy. Welcome, Emiyashiro, the last surviving master. He smiles sarcastically and opens his arms to welcome me. This is the site of our battle. This is the altar of the summoning in this Holy Grail war. Kinda AV, but not really. Let Ilya down. I'll beat your ass after that. I glare at Kotomine. There's about 10 meters between us. The fight will begin if I move another step. I don't know what kind of mage Kotomine is, but I assume he'll use some kind of projectile weapon like Tosaka. In comparison, I can only punch him. Even though I have the dagger Tosaka gave me, it's useless unless I get near him. Once the fight starts, I'll have to run straight at him and stab his chest. But first I have to do something about Ilya. Hey! Didn't you hear me? I told you to let Ilya down. What's so fun about torturing a kid? I understand your feelings, but I cannot do that. The Holy Grail has appeared, but the void is yet unstable. My wish has not come true until she bears this until she dies. Until she dies. Then Ilya is still alive. I see. You have no intention of letting her down. I'll just have to use force. I'll stop your wish. That black mud right now. Oh, so this must appear to be my wish to you, as expected from the son of Kiritsugu. I did not expect 2 generations to make the same mistake. This mud is not of my making. This is the power leaking out of the Holy Grail, The colorless power that should have been omnipotent. No human power is able to stain it black. This Holy Grail has been like this from the beginning. Once opened, it will flow out without end and cause a disaster. This is the true identity of the Holy Grail. This thing is filled with every evil, something that curses everything in this world. No one can control such a thing. What is he saying? If that's true, then he became a master not for a wish, but just to open this up? Kodamine, what is your wish? I clench my teeth and glare at the priest. The man smiles. Well, let's see. If anything, it is for entertainment. He makes a simple claim as if it's only natural. I'm gonna take a drink. Do you not understand? Music, for example. Why do people find music fun, Emiya Shiro? How about a book? What do you think stories attract people? Why do you think stories attract people? I mean, I've never thought about it. Yes, you do not even need to think about it. Every entertainment exists to pleasure people. It is amusing because it was made by people. All creation comes from within people. In short, the most entertaining things in the world are humans themselves. Bare humans are the best entertainment in the world. Compared to that, entertainment created by people is just secondary. Yes, music, stories, like, dislike, pity, belief, betrayal, morals, corruption, illusion, truth. It is all just trash to be discarded. Such things are mere second-rate, trashy entertainment. What I like to enjoy are people themselves. Such pointless things are not my taste. For that, we need to discard excess things such as their lives. You heard of flashbacks, right? It is just like that. People have value only at the moment of their deaths. Using their lifetime to gain momentum, they jump high to dazzle. That flicker is my wish. That is the answer to your question. As you feed on peacefulness, I live by feeding on this planet's light. The priest offering a speech with his hands apart is abnormal. I feel a chill, but not at his speech, but at the priest himself, because he looks like a holy being while he says he wants to enjoy humans. So you... Yes, the fire 10 years ago wasn't too bad. It was on a small scale, but it was filled with unusual excitement. These are the only things I wish for. Such a hell contains an explosion of souls, the best flicker a man can give. You must have experienced that as well, Emiya Shiro. See, people dying in regret must have touched your heart, did it not? Don't talk shit. That time, that hell, can't be contained with just that one sentence. Do you understand now? It is in a disordered fashion, but no one loves humans as much as I. Therefore, no one is more appropriate than myself to receive the Holy Grail. The priest laughs in satisfaction, as if he thinks that event where people died in vain is wonderful from the bottom of his heart. Oh, I see. I concentrate on my feet. Put my powers into my legs, about to jump forward. So I can kill you. I jump forward with all my might. It's about 10 meters to him. I'll go straight at him and... Yeah. I jump sideways. This is the result of my instincts not wanting to die, suppressing my desire to kill him. I roll sideways onto the ground and look up. I look at the place I was running over. A sound of burning. The burning sound is coming from the black mud stretching out from the lake. It's like a black carpet. The mud slashed like a whip, attacking me as I went over after Kodamine and left a mark on the ground. I forgot to tell you, but you are already within my range. And to add, these things are sensitive to living beings. I do not mind you moving, but you will die if you move carelessly. Yeah. I jump to avoid the black mud mercilessly attacking me. Screw moving carelessly, he's ready to kill me. Damn, you fake priest! I stand up, still keeping watch over the lake. The distance to Kotomine hasn't changed. That means this 10 meters is as near as he wants me to get. But that tentacle of mud stretches without limit. It'll come after me if he wants it to, and I'm sure there is more than one. Oh, so you're ready to fight? That pleases me. I could not kill you if you were to run away, but there will be no problem if you attack me. I serve God, so I cannot kill someone who is pleading for their life. Don't lie. You can't say that after attacking someone from behind. I must have remembered what happened with Lancer. Kotomine laughs as if in admiration. Oh yes, I hated you for that. There's no need to put this off any longer. To be honest, I had hopes for you, Emiyashiro. I felt some sort of fate when Rin came to the church with you. You cannot know how happy it was when I found out that you were Kiritsugu's son, and that you were like him on the inside as well. The wish that did not come true 10 years ago, I never expected that I would be able to get my revenge on Emi and Kiritsugu. The tentacle whips out. The quivering mud coming from the lake is like a black snake. I bite my lip. This is the worst situation as I thought. The number of snakes continue to increase without end. I don't know how long I can survive, let alone how I can get close to them. It is only natural for you to be unable to win. There is a large difference in the years we have lived. It is a difference you cannot overcome unless you have something major. The priest raises his hands. He glares at the heavens as if he's conducting an orchestra. Put your life on the line. You might be able to reach me if you do so. He releases the black snakes. It's battle time, baby. Sparks fly off. The Golden Knight retreats from blows which are full of utmost spirit. She must have seen it as opening. Saber dodges the swinging sword and moves in deeper to the enemy's range. Yeah! If they yell as a rip, the sword is like a comet. It overwhelms the opponent and he hesitates, but she keeps attacking. The sword keeps moving. It has destroyed rocks and pierced through walls, but every blow is blocked by weapons appearing from behind him. You persistent. Escaping danger, the Golden Knight, Gilgamesh, has another sword in his hand. It is easy to repel that weapon, but she cannot block it straight on. And all the enemy's weapons have unknown abilities. It would be suicidal to block without knowing its ability. Saber jumps back out of range and catches her breath. In a deep yawn, Gilgamesh raises himself unhurriedly. You do not give up, women. Can you not tell it's futile? Gilgamesh shows no fatigue. For him, this battle is just entertainment. There must be no fatigue or strain when he knows he's going to win. But it's different for Saber. For her, this moment is her only chance for victory. Before her enemy becomes serious, she has to defeat Gilgamesh before he takes out Ea, or she will be the one defeated. This is why she has continued to attack without a thought for saving her energy. She has cornered the enemy like this more than a few times, but still, she can never get past the wall of noble phantasms. Are you still going to continue? It is good to be loyal to your master, but there should be a limit. That Mongol would have been killed by Kotomine by now. There should be no reason for you to fight now. My master's still very much alive. Shirul will not be defeated by that master. It can only be a matter of time. Do you know the Holy Grail? You do not know the Holy Grail. Even I have trouble against it. That kid will not last even a minute. You cannot beat me, and that kid can't beat Kotomine. You have mistaken your roles. If you had gone after the Holy Grail, this battle would have been yours. The Golden Knight's eyes are not laughing. He is serious. But that is wrong. For Saber, such a choice would be a mistake. Nonsense. This is the correct decision. I will not lose to you, and Shiro will not lose to a corpse such as that. You have fallen low to hope for a result that has yet to happen. Oh, it seems you still have the energy to talk impudently. Space distorts. A number of noble phantasms behind Gilgamesh increases. It is coming. She grips her holy sword once again. Actually, there is a way. There's only one, but there's a way to defeat that Golden Knight. But for that, it will not succeed unless several conditions are met. Even if she defeats Ea, he will be able to defend against her attack if he has energy left. And the method to defeat Ea will remain unknown until she takes a direct hit from it once more. Take a hit from Ea? No way. Even with the sheath, I would not be able to get up after being hit. But there's no other way to win. It is a matter of how to grasp that slight chance. Usually she selects the best choice by instinct and follows that view. But right now she cannot even feel with her instincts. Probably because the probability of victory is so low that the chance of comeback is pretty much zero. But still, she must fight. For Shiro, who abandoned his protection to give her back her sheath. She cannot be defeated here by him. You see, it seems you'll not be convinced without a complete loss. More weapons appear. They move without Gilgamesh touching them, and they aim at Saber. The weapons, whose handles were only visible before, all show blades now, and await their master's order. This is the knight's way of fighting. In the beginning, Gilgamesh has never been a swordsman. These noble phantasms are produced in the air and become bullets as their master's commands. That is why he is called Archer. He throws weapons at you. This servant is an archer with the strongest arrows. Do your best to avoid them. You do well. If you do well, you shall only be stabbed in the limbs. With one command, the Godspeed rain of swords begins. Each one has fatal power. She eludes every one of them like a falling leaf. A sword from the front, a spear from the left, a polearm from below and above, a three-edged sword arcing and attacking from behind, a swing from a hammer bigger than she is. She blocks, repels, dodges, and twists her body away from the last attack. Breathing hard, Saber recovers the stance she is driven out of. In that instant, she sees them behind her enemy. Behind Gilgamesh, noble phantasms are already produced. 47 of them. She jumps full force. Many noble phantasms stab into the ground as to not let her escape. In the reign of noble phantasms, she's hit time after time. Her armor is destroyed, her gauntlets pierced, and even the pieces covering her feet are pierced. Saber manages to avoid a fatal wound, even in this danger, but then sees the worst thing possible. On the other side of the reign of noble phantasms, as if to finish off a fleeing enemy, Gilgamesh is pulling out his favorite sword. Yeah. She stops her jump. She lands right away and pours magical energy into her holy sword. But will it be in time? The wind roars, the blade of light reveals, and she raises her sword without waiting for the wind to fully unseal it. X! She does not even bother with the rain over the phantasms and swings her holy sword with all the speed possible. Enema! Elish! But it's too late. Pounding through his own noble phantasms, Gilgamesh swings his sword. Gah! I kick away the mucus around my ankle. My clothes are burnt away and my skin is exposed. Gah! I jump back from the striking tentacle. I can't feel my right ankle and I can't even tell if it's there, but I jump in the open field in front of me. I check my body as I roll. Ankle, alright, still there. Just can't feel it. If it's there, I should be able to run. I jump in different directions again to avoid the striking mud. I hear a splashing sound right next to me. The smell of the ground burning forces my dizzy head awakened. Fire runs up my back. I shake it off and jump to an empty space. It must have been there at the end of his attack. The black mud that was surrounding me has disappeared from view for now. I bite my lip. I ran so much, but at the end, I'm pushed back to here again. I breathe hard and look at him so as not to lose his spirit. Kodamine has not moved at all. He's just watched me run around. No matter how hard I breathe, my heart won't calm down. It's saying that it's at its limits and it needs rest. It's about to go out on its own if I don't let it rest. Can't do anything. I can't get near Kodamine and get through that black mud. I'm not going to hold back on using the projection magic. If I can't move forward, I can reproduce Saber's sword again. It'll surely be able to slice through that black mud, and I can go straight for Kodamine. Is that all? Tell me if you have given up. The instant he speaks. Huh? Lots of mud comes splashing towards me, telling me I cannot let myself stop. Gah! I raise myself and barely dodge the mud. The mud itself isn't too bad. It's slow compared to Saber Shinai. It only comes where it's aimed, so it's easy to dodge. But that's only true when there's only one of them. I can't deal with tens of mud attacks. The ones come from above me, and the ones that come from behind me the instant I dodge them. As a result, I can only move around. Even then, mud covers me bit by bit. Damn it! There's no time to rest. I can't reproduce a sword like this. Projection magic, tracing a weapon from the beginning, requires at least 1 minute of concentration. If I show such an opening, I'll be melted down to my bones. The parts of my body covered with mud have lost sensation. The only good thing is that I don't feel any pain, but I won't know if I'm dead or not when the mud covers my whole body. I'm finished when that happens, and most of all, I'll have melted away by then. All I can do is run. I know it's only a matter of time, even if I do, but I have to keep running for now. I won't have any luck getting near Kodamine while I'm dodging this mud. I can't get close now. Waiting behind Kodamine is a pool of mud. If there's any chance of getting near him, it'll be when I do something about this mud. Ah, damn it! Ugh! I can't believe it. Who on earth would trip up at a time like this? Kodamine looks down at me like I'm trash. He points his finger at me, and many snakes show their veins. I get up. I try to get up, but I fall again. I fall. I fall. Snakes are coming. But I still fall. Why? 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 Black mud comes from my neck. Why? Oh. I see why. My right ankle is unbelievably black. So that's it. I hoped I'd be able to have a little fun. But you are Kiritsugu's son after all. You people are useless. Pardon me. Anyway. I raise my head. I'm still conscious. My wrists and neck are held by mud like chains. But I still retain my senses. Why don't you finish me off? I will, soon enough. But just doing that would not be at all that fun. You are Kiritsugu's fake, so the debt Kiritsugu owes me from 10 years ago shall be returned with your death. The skin with mud on it is burning. It feels like acid is slowly seeping through the pores of my skin. I grit my teeth, bare and check on my right ankle. It's totally black. I can't feel it, nor can I move it at all. I have to take the mud out of my body or put magical energy into it to move the clotted blood in there. Either way, the moment I move, all the muscle in my right ankle will be destroyed. I see. I don't care about that, but... Oh, I see. I don't care about that, but... Why do you hate Kiritsugu so much? Was it so annoying to you that Kiritsugu destroyed the Holy Grail? It is just hatred for a similar person. Kiritsugu and I were alike, so everything he did got on my nerves. It is the same as the way you feel hatred towards me. Shut up! Don't say Kiritsugu is like you! I raise my body up to my arms and glare at him. I don't know what's so funny, but he makes that evil smile. I see. It must be so for you. After all, he was a good enough person to let me go. He defeated me, the cause of that disaster, but he did not take my life. You should know that that was a mistake. If he had killed me, those orphans would still be able to live a peaceful life. You should not be able to retort, but it was unpleasant for me as well. The face that such a cold-hearted mage left me alive was unpleasant. The fact, whatever. That again. Saber said it too, that Kiritsugu was a great mage, and that he would do anything to accomplish his goals. But that was not his mistake. The mistake he made was that he thought this war had ended with the destruction of the Holy Grail. That is why he did not tell you anything, optimistically thinking that the Grail War was over, and died stained in this curse. He was certainly a fool. He let the one who cursed him go, and as a result died within a few years, believing that he had accomplished his goal, and that the Holy Grail War had ended. Hold on. Then, what? Kiritsugu died because of this guy? And the peaceful face he had right on the night of his death was... Oh, let me ask one last question. What was Kiritsugu's last moments like? Did he give something to you as his son and pass away with satisfaction? How foolish could he be? He accomplished nothing, and he pushed the responsibility onto you. His passing must have been ridiculous. You! I kick off the ground. I drove magical energy into my right foot and moved it by force. I ignore my tearing muscles and run to him, on all fours like a dog. Yes, I would expect at least that much spirit. Kodamini raises his hand towards the waterfall behind him. What's he thinking? That's a curse so strong that it's visible. You can call it magical energy, specialized for destroying people. There's nothing you can do with it, as it cannot be reshaped or anything. Anybody that touches that mud will be stained with a strong curse and will be melted as if digested. In the process, the pain and fear before death remain as a magical energy and become the next curse to seek out living people. So you die if you touch it. Anyone who touches it will die unless they can get the mud out of their body. The priest stuck his hand in that waterfall of mud, but he doesn't stop smiling. This is your reward. Die in the same manner as Kiritsugu. In his hand is a black darkness. I sense that it is something completely different, and... The world is attacked by a sudden flash of light. The moment I realize that the light from Saber's noble phantasm. Angra Manu. The priest's words instantly turned the world black. Her vision, blinded by the light, is filled with darkness. If she were conscious, she would have known it was the ultimate black light. The darkness was only for an instant. But it is not darkness, but a swarm of grain-sized curses. The darkness swept her body away, and she regained consciousness from the unpleasant sensation. Oh, she gasps. The first thing she feels after consciousness returns is pain. Skin that was protected by armor is burned, her body is pierced and slashed, and she's in a miserable state. I see. I lost to Aya. She was cornered by Gilgamesh's noble phantasms, could not block them, and took a hit from Aya as well. She managed to offset it a bit with Excalibur, but her body is wounded too badly. The wound is healing without magical energy. but even the protection from the sheath will not return her to normal instantly. There. And this is it, Saber. Don't tell me you refuse to admit your defeat in that state. Gilgamesh approaches without a scratch. Still on the ground, Saber looks up at her enemy. She cannot do anything right now. The man can do whatever he wants with her. Gilgamesh, that light was... In spite of that, this is what she worries about. The flash of light. The black darkness from the back of the compound that covered the earth for an instant. She does not want to think about it, but the darkness might have been aimed at Shiro. That light, you should be able to tell. It is a great curse. Kodamine must have summoned it straight from the Holy Grail. I heard that the Holy Grail holds something that could curse everything in this world. The pollution you've seen up to now is just the remains of what came out of the Grail. The primary curse has been summoned. Your master should no longer be alive. No, that cannot be. She concentrates all her power. She knows her body will not move, but she cannot abide just by lying on the ground. No, Shiro is alive. He is still... Certainly, she still feels the connection with her master. It is weak and ready to go out, but enemy Shiro is still alive. So she must go. If the enemy is something so unforeseeable, Shiro cannot match it. Gah. Using the warmth inside her, she tries to get up. But it was useless. Even the sheath of the holy sword will require a few more minutes to heal her body. It is too late. Stay still, Saber. The Holy Grail will overflow whatever you do. The events of 10 years ago will reoccur, but this ritual is for your benefit, not mine. Looking up at the red burning sky, the Golden Knight smiles. Rejoice, Saber. If you shower with it, you will become like me. You will have a body in this world, and you'd be able to enjoy your second life. Though I'm not sure you'll be able to keep your sanity as I did. What? Saber looks up at her enemy in amazement. Saber can tell that thing is a great curse. It is a magnificent cluster of magical energy, and any magic should be possible with that amount. If it were cast to using it, nothing would be impossible. But it is a double-edged sword. That thing can only curse people. If immersed in such a thing, even a heroic spirit would be unable to keep themselves together. That makes her realize. The servant in front of her. This knight called the oldest king of heroes. He was swallowed by the pollution 10 years ago. So, Gilgamesh, He's gone insane already. Oh, you think so? Laughing, Gilgamesh looks down at Saber. His face looks crazy, and it suits him. Do not take me so low. How can I be a hero if I cannot swallow a curse such as this? All evils of the world? Heh! Bring at least 3 times that much if you want to stain me. See, Saber, a hero is someone who carries with them everything they see. I'm already carrying everything in this world. Saber gasps quietly at his words. She'll never be able to come to terms with this heroic spirit. His arrogant thinking, his selfishness to consider himself the greatest, and his merciless nature that never thinks of others. This is different from the path of the king she chose, a set of beliefs that'll never overlap with hers. But this man still is a king. She can say that with confidence. Of all the servants, this man is the only one who would be capable of keeping his sanity after being so soaked in the vast curse. Yes. Making you swallow that mud is good, but it's no fun if you go crazy because of that. Well, let us hold our marriage now. Ugh. Gilgamesh, you... What? Do you dislike being treated roughly? Then get used to it. I do not hold myself back on women or food. I plunder and eat them at my leisure. He held upside down. Saber glares at Gilgamesh. So you honor your master as a servant. I see. Ridiculous. I cannot believe you gave him your body just because of the binds of the command spell. You are wrong. Do not misunderstand, Gilgamesh. I do not obey anyone. My body has never had such freedom. Oh? Then you will not be mine no matter what. His red eyes pierce Saber. There's no human emotion. He will kill if she disobeys. He will just kill her no matter how attached she was to her. These are his true feelings. Gilgamesh's truth. Saber stares back at Gilgamesh, not averting her gaze. Gilgamesh, I will not become anyone's. I already belong to my country. My body is a king before I am a woman. She does not say it to anyone. She just says so, feeling a small warmth still within her body. So that is your answer. Do not make me laugh, Saber. A country is just a possession. If he cannot rule everything, there's no need for a transcendental being like the king. Jeez, King Arthur, what was your own that is why your own country destroyed you. The Golden Knight sneers at her immaturity. That brings back her determination. Yes, you are correct. But, King of Heroes, that is why you destroyed your own country. A roared yell full of spirit. Saber uses her whole body to kick Gilgamesh in the face with her free leg. What? Gilgamesh lets go. Saber stays upside down and jumps using her arms. You would stomp on a man? You must really want to be disciplined, Saber! She closes her eyes and looks within herself. That is why you were destroyed by your own country. She already knew that. She has heard those words over and over since she was summoned to Saber. But that man is different. He was mad like it was his own affair, but still, he thought that it was something to be proud of. So there's only one thing that must be done. Even if there's not the slightest chance of winning, she cannot stop here. While the warmth is still in her heart, she must run to her master as fast as possible. About 8 meters to Gilgamesh. She places herself at the best range she found earlier. Her body will not move as she wishes. Her legs do not even have a tenth of their original power, and the arms holding her sword are weak. She'll fall without being able to block no matter what kind of weak attack she receives. But there's no openings in Saber's stance, nor is there any hesitation. Let me ask you. Gilgamesh has to prepare himself seeing her like that. The Golden Knight raises Ea and looks at his opponent. Are you sane? Saber does not answer. Her eyes show her determination. Alright, I will not hold back in that case. The air roars. The sword of separation. Ea, a sword said in ancient Mesopotamia to have divided and created the world. Gilgamesh's sword of separation roars to exterminate its enemy. For sure this time. The swirl of air and magical energy within it far exceed Excalibur. Disappear! You are an annoying woman! Ea is raised. Saber raises her sword to match it. Their gazes meet only for an instant. Enema! Delish! Gilgamesh's sword is swung. But Saber's sword falls without power as she is unable to activate the double phantom. The light that cuts everything charges. Unable to do anything, she is swallowed by the light. The instant I am swallowed by the darkness, hell is printed onto my brain. The starting penalty is 5. Life penalty, body penalty, freedom penalty, fame penalty, fortune penalty. Give that penalty that extends so much punishment, mud, darkness, malice. Elimination of human rights by castration, exile, execution. Torture and sadism upon the body through digestion. Denial by consensus of the colony that eliminates all honor. Die. Scorn from judgment and selfishness to take away men's fortunes. Death penalty, servitude, imprisonment, custody, fine penalty, crime of a judge, crime of self-interest, unconscious crime, self-conscious crime, self-war. Civil war, inducement, false statement, theft, robbery, kidnap, suicide, rape, arson, bombing, violation, negligent homicide, mass violence, death at overwork, overconfident accident. Die, die, die. Misdiagnosis, concealment, violation for benefit, violation for self-protection, violation for love, violation for respect, selfishness, stealing, fraudulent, fraud, concealment, murder, theft, crime, personal judge, attack, dirty, dirty, dirty. You are dirty. Atone. Every violence, every crime, Victim, atone for everything. The world is run by something not human. Know the consequences to reform crimes. Die, 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 die. Know the penalty to reform crimes. People's kindness is here. There's so much it cannot be noticed. Know the violence to hide crimes. Know the power to hide crimes. People's malignance is here. It is so rare that it is noticed. 100 kindnesses, 1 malignance. Malignance is shine bright to keep the balance in the existence of great evil. To compete with the masses of kindness, the starting penalty is 5. For self, 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 inducement, false statement, theft, robbery. Die, 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 die. My brain explodes. The mud eating away my body remains and steals my warmth mercilessly. I'm crushed by the thing seeping through all 5 senses. Darkness I cannot look at directly. Ugliness I cannot acknowledge. Crimes I want to run away from. Every crime of the people in this world. This is why I'm going to die. One trapped in this darkness will eat themselves to death from pain and hatred. But, Kodamine said, that this curse killed Kiritsugu. That fact knocks away every darkness. Warmth returns to my body. Blood flows through my beaten up body and makes it stand. It's only natural. Such a thing. Emi Kiritsugu had been burdened with this for many years. He was pressed by the voices for atonement and died unable to fulfill his wish. He said he wanted to become a superhero. He ran around trying to help someone, but could not get anyone's permission for that. Yet he still did what he could to pursue the ideals that he had abandoned. In the end, he was relieved by something a kid said, and nodded to himself that everything was okay. So I had to stand up. I relieved Kiritsugu and promised that I'd become one. If Emiyashiro is really that superhero's son, then I can't let the bad guy beat me. Jasaka said, I should win no matter what. Saber said, he's an enemy that I must defeat. Even Kodamine said, if I'm going to fight, I should put my life on the line. They're right. What else can I bet if I won't bet my life? From the beginning, I have nothing else to give. Ah! I'm not gonna scream all that. I leap desperately out of the dense black mud. Gah, I can hear his bewilderment. My throat is burning. My windpipe tears every time I breathe, and it feels like I'm swallowing pieces of glass. I don't care. Tears are welling up from anger. I'm going to go crazy from anger before I go crazy from the curse. Impossible. You managed to shake that thing off? I push my body and run. I put one hand behind my back. I grab the dagger I've hidden until now. I am astonished. I thought you escaped that thing, but you have a simple mind. It seems you have run out of ideas. Shut up! I never had any plans in the first place. I run. Kodamine sticks his hand into the waterfall behind him and extracts another clump of darkness. Then you can follow your servant. That previous light was Saber being defeated. You have no one to help you now. All my hesitations disappear. If I do reach Kodamine, I think his biggest mistake was that line. Because the command spell is on my left hand. It's the only proof I have. As long as my command spell exists, Saber exists. If she exists, she must have defeated Gilgamesh by now, and she'll be heading over here. I think Saber will be angry if I don't greet her with open arms. So I will defeat you now, to fulfill that last promise I made with her. Darkness approaches. A great curse is released from Kodamine's hand. My body melts from my fingertips. I won't look away. If this is my role, there's still something I can do. Enuma! Finish! A dislocation runs through the face. With a flash of light and a roar of wind, the swirl of destruction is set loose from Ea. With that in front of her, Saber could not even use her noble phantasm. She lowers her sword and moves her body forward as if she's falling. The light approaches. She cannot avoid it with her injured legs, and there's no shield in this world that could block Ea. A storm of light and wind that'll destroy everything in its path. Nothing can stand against the true name of Ea. That is a fact that cannot be changed. Yes, until a few hours ago. The one surprise is not Saber, but the golden knight bearing Ea. Ea is still emitting magical energy and bringing forth destruction, but Saber steps forward into that tumbling storm of light. Her armor screams out, cracks run through every wall of magical energy protecting her. In the period shorter than a second that they endure the attack, Saber steps up to Gilgamesh and... Excalibur! She opposes Ea's destruction with the greatest power she's permitted. Heat and light rumble wildly. The crash of the greatest swords push against each other with pure power, creating a boundary in space. But is it not useless? Excalibur cannot beat Ea. Even if she approaches at the risk of her life, she can only push back just a little. The balance easily favors Ea, and Excalibur's light is propelled back along with Saber. I see, you must have lost your mind. Readying Ea, the Golden Knight looks at the enemy approaching him. Again, and puts his magical energy into Ea. This will be it. He will totally annihilate Saber with all his power. Ea turns to reach the maximum speed, and the light surrounding Saber mows down Excalibur. But just before that, Saber's body jumps forward, a small space created by Excalibur, a place where she can take one more step. The instant she reaches it, her noble phantasm appears. The darkness becomes a raging wind to cover Emiyashiro. There's no way to avoid it, and the concept of blocking it is useless against a curse that paints the space itself. Those swallowed by this darkness will be absorbed by it, like the painted space. Ugh. Body melting from the fingertips, legs moving forward. Step into empty space, and arms reaching out are already invisible in the black mud. Emiyashiro will be eliminated from the outside, attacked by a feeling that his body is shrinking. Emiyashiro still does not accept death. Without looking away, he rejects it with all his might. The darkness surrounding the body, the pain trying to melt the body, and the curse trying to melt the mind. But they are futile attempts. There's no way for a mere human to resist the pollution. The body's still moving. The arm raised to grab something is still raised, but the mind is already destroyed. The mind is already painted in black, and the body should disappear into darkness as well. In that moment, you were my... Why is that voice remembered? A light turns on in the darkness. The instant the eyes realize the light is that light, everything reverses. The hammer comes knocking down. The mind accelerates, crackles with sparks, and creates the shape with unbelievable speed. Trace! On! The spell to begin the projection is murmured. In an instant, it is completed, omitting every step of manufacture. That is right. There's no need to reproduce it from scratch, because the shape was engraved in the body. It is perfect in memory, as it was part of Emiyashiro's body. You are my sheath. The arm reaching out still moves. The weapon created without concentration or spellcasting is grabbed. The world changes completely as the darkness is destroyed by a golden light, and, in Emiyashiro's hand, is the perfectly reproduced sheath of Saber. And like that, with Ea straight ahead of her, her noble phantasm is activated. What? That which is released and scattered before her is the Holy Sword's sheath. No one knows what kind of a divine mystery it is made from, but the sheath repels all light emitted by Ea. No, it goes beyond the level of defending. It is complete isolation. The barrier of fairyland that keeps out all filth from the outside lands. A complete world separated from this one that can never be reached. As Saber is protected by the sheath of the Holy Sword, she's blocked off from all matter in this world. The greatest protection in this world. The greatest that cannot be infringed by anything, not even by the 5 sorceries. For that reason, the sheath is named Avalon. All is a distant utopia. The place where King Arthur is said to have gone after his death. The utopia the king dreamed of that will never be reached. Gilgamesh sees the death running up his spine. But he won't make it. The raised A will not stop turning, and Gilgamesh cannot manage to jump back. It is only natural. Who would even think that an attack with this much magical energy and this much power could be blocked? Gah! Damn, such a trick! Blue clothes run in. There's no armor on Saber. She has released the armor protecting her, put the magical energy gained into her sword, and... X! Saber! That's a good look on you. Caliber! All darkness is blown away the instant the sheath is grabbed. The darkness surrounding Emiyashiro, the darkness contaminating his body, everything is dispersed. What? This is no reason to be surprised. The sheath of the holy sword protects its possessor. The embodiment of the utopia she sought cannot lose to this dirty mud. He runs. At the moment he is released from the darkness, his speed is like that of a shooting star. Projection? Just who are you? The one overestimating their ability, and the one who cannot even spare to think about such things. The difference is only an instant, but an instant that decides the outcome. Kodomine Kyrie! Still falling, Emiyashiro runs on his hands as well. On one hand is the dagger. In one hand is the dagger. In a crouching position, running to the Black Priest. The sword of retribution is stabbed into the priest's chest. The priest turns slowly. Before that, stopping himself with his feet, Emiyashiro jumps back. The spinning body and all the magical energy left in his left hand. He takes it like a whirlwind, he... Yost! The magical energy is poured into the Athos sword, along with the word of release. The golden sword was swung. She must not even have the energy to raise it back up. Saber keeps the sword and her face down. Slashed up, the man beholds the knight that has defeated him. The sound of wind echoes through the compound. The waves of light like a flood are no more. The two knights share no words as they place themselves in a parting calling called the battle's end. And the man sighs. He raises his weak hand and touches the cheek of the knight in front of him, as if making sure she exists. You are a hateful woman. You oppose me to the very end. And the golden armor starts to fade away. The existence of the King of Heroes is disappearing. But I shall forgive you. Some things are beautiful because they cannot be obtained. His fingers slip. His raised arm falls powerlessly to the ground. And if that's the case, then it is inevitable that I would lose to you. He says it solemnly, and in his final moments, goodbye, King of Knights. It was indeed fun. It smiles, ironically, and disappears. Sparks fly into the priest's uniform. The sparks are coming from the dagger in his chest. No chunks of flesh or blood are flying out, but still, the battle here is over as well. He doesn't even look at me. He's just looking down at the dagger in his chest in disbelief. The wind is blowing. The wind coming from the void above eliminates the sound around it, and the rumbling silence. Why do you have this sword? Konamine Kiryu murmurs in a clear voice. It's not mine. I borrowed it from Tosaka. How long was he thinking? He sighs, and the body that hasn't moved since the beginning of our confrontation finally moves. I see. It was indeed a time when I gave it to some girl on a whim. I believe it was 10 years ago. I see. No wonder I have become weak. The body of the priest falls to the ground. I watch it all. He has talked about himself like he was someone else until the very end. And the priest sinks into that which he was summoned, that which he wished for. I don't think Rin is getting her knife back. That is the end of the man called Konamine Kiryu, and the true end of the long battle. The enemy is gone, and I face the final large task. The black void in the sky. The mud has stopped, but the strange void is still beating. That is the Holy Grail. The omnipotent Grail that would have given to the winner, that would have been given to the winner at the end of this war. There's a wind blowing. Konamine is gone, and the power binding Ilya must have vanished. Ilya is now free of that void, and she's sleeping by my side. I don't know what condition she's in, but it doesn't seem like her life is in danger. She should wake up fine if we go home and have Tosaka live with her. The war has ended. Nobody else is going to get hurt, and I won't lose anyone else. The masters are gone, and the servants will disappear once the tasks are over. I already knew this was going to happen. We climbed those long stairs together. Our parting is already done. All that's left is to close the curtains. I wait with an empty mind, looking up at the void. And she appears. She walks straight towards me, her figure unchanged since the first time I saw her. She stops close enough that I could reach out to her. There are no words to confirm her safety or to congratulate her of the victory. This is something that was already decided. So there's only one thing left to do. I will destroy the Holy Grail. That is my role. So saying, she starts to walk. Strong winds do not affect her as she approaches it step by step. She must be in range. She quietly readies her sword and looks at the black void. I stare at her back. I clench my fist hard, bite my lip, stifle the words about to come out of my mouth, and engrave her figure into my memory. And then, Master, please give me the order. I cannot destroy it without your order. With her back to me, she tells me to use my last command spell. Saber will disappear once the Holy Grail is destroyed. No. As she will destroy the Holy Grail, she will never again become a servant. Saber became a servant because she sought the Grail. Destroying the Holy Grail of her own will means destroying her contract as well. If she destroys the Holy Grail, she will end her life as the king. Sure, I want to hear you say it. Saber's voice. Every time I hear it, I want to scream. Tell her not to go. I want to scream for her to stay here. But it's something I should not do, even for the sake of my life. I love Saber. I want her to be happier than anyone else, and I want to be with her forever. But if I truly love her, that's wrong. I loved Saber as she continued to fight even after getting hurt. She was a girl who discarded everything, was filled with injuries, yet protected all the way through. If I consider that beautiful, and I want to protect it, I cannot destroy her life just for my own selfishness. She was born as a king, and lived as a king. That will not change no matter what. For the time she swore to carry the sword, the girl became a king and nothing else. And that is her pride. She ran through the battles so that in her final moments she would be able to believe her path was the right one. The dreams of the girl are Toria, the mind that chose to be the king over her own life, to fight. Even after she learned it would be unrewarded, she still clasped the sword and defended the oath of the king. For many years. I cannot do anything to dishonor the pride that she has held on to until the time of her death. Saber, please fulfill your role. I say so with a flood of emotions. An overflowing light. The void in the sky is cut in half by the light and disappears without a trace. There's nothing left. The destroyed mountain is now a flat field. Dawn is in the distance. The horizon is shining and gleaming gold. My left hand hurts. My last command spell disappears. That makes me accept that the curtains have been drawn. So, everything is over? Yeah, this is it. There's nothing left. I see. Then our contract is at an end. I became your sword, defeated your enemies, and protected you. I am glad to have fulfilled this promise. Yeah. You did well, Saber. Nothing more needs to be said. Saber's far away, and I don't run to her. The morning sun rises. The halted wind begins again. A gold that seems to last forever. In it. In the end, there's one thing I must tell you, she says in a voice filled with determination. What is it? I reply, like always, with my best bluff. Saber's body wavers. She's facing me. She looks straight at me, and in a voice without regret. Shiro, I love you. She says those words. Wind blows. I close my blinded eyes and open them again. I don't think there's any surprise. I kind of saw this coming. That our parting would be like this. An open field fills my eyes. As the wind blew, the night disappeared. Just as she appeared, leaving no trace. Yeah, it really is just like you. There are no regrets in my voice. I squint at the rising sun, keeping everything I lost close to my heart. I stare at the horizon, wishing to forget, and for it to never fade away. A distant land glowing in sunlight, resembling the golden fields she ran through. Epilogue, which we will read. I hear a sound. I hear the sound of the old, heavy, rusted door of the shed open. Light comes into the dark shed. I start to wake up. Senpai, are you awake? I don't even need to check who's there. Oh, so it's time already. Taking a breath, I open my eyes. Good morning, Senpai. It's almost time to wake up. I guess you're right. Morning, Sakura. Thanks for waking me up. No, it's nothing you need to thank me for. I knew you'd wake up properly, so I only didn't need this thing. I see. Then why did you come to wake me up? I wanted to wake you up today, so I woke up 30 minutes earlier than usual. Today's a special day, you know? Oh. That reminds me. That's right. Today is a special day. Sakura, I don't think I even need to ask, but Fujini isn't here yet, right? No, Fujimura-sensei is not here yet. Oh, but Ilya-chan is already here. As I thought. Ilya being the only one here means one thing. Crap. Sorry, Sakura, but can you take care of breakfast? I'll go and wake Fujini up. Oh yes, sorry for your trouble, senpai. Fortunately, I worked late last night as well, so I'm still in my work clothes. It's good I can go outside without having to change. I'll be back in like 10 minutes, so I'll leave the rest to you. Yes, please do. Oh, Shira's awake. Yeah, I just woke up. I'm gonna go wake Fujini, so help Sakura, will you? Patting Ilya on her shoulder, head to the front entrance. I got beat! Jeez, I told you I'm gonna wake Shiro up, Sakura. Ilya runs to the shed screaming. Such a scene isn't that unusual now. Ilya said she wouldn't go back to her country, so I consulted Fujini to see if I could keep her at my place. Fujini really objected, saying her house was better, and ended up taking Ilya in. Since then, still staying at Fujimura House, Ilya comes attacking Fujini at morning and night. Needless to say, their target is breakfast and dinner. It's been 2 months since they started living together, and they seem to be in union now. When I walk past the shed area, I hear voices over the wall. It's Sakura and Ilya talking. I thought Ilya would not get along with Sakura since Ilya has the really unnerving personality, but I guess I was wrong. The two, consisting of the energetic Ilya and the quiet Sakura, are getting along well enough that they're getting rather noisy. In fact, Sakura is regaining her spirit because of Ilya. Sakura stopped smiling when her brother Mato Shinji disappeared and was considered missing. She must have vaguely understood the connection with the mass coma incident at the school. She was worried about the missing Shinji and moped for a long time. It was Ilya who forcibly made Sakura get over it, and Sakura regains her cheerfulness when Ilya's around. Yeah, Sakura's able to laugh now. I'm purely happy for that, because that soft smile certainly suits her. You're mean, Ilya-chan. I even gave you a special bonus to make me up no matter what. Fujini scarfs down breakfast while crying. It's only natural. I'll be late too if I wait for Taiga, and I worked enough for what I got paid for. If you want more out of me, then you should raise the base pay and not just give me a special pay. Why are you such a miser when you're getting paid from grandfather as well? Everyone would hate you if you're still stingy about money from such a young age. I don't care if I'm hated. I don't care what people besides the one I like think of me. And Taiga, pay me back the money I let you borrow. Your payday was 5 days ago, right? How did you know that? I heard from Reiga. I can give you the details as well if you wish. Ilya smiles daringly. In contrast to Sakura, Ilya and Fujini do not get along well. And to add, Ilya is really mean when she faces Fujini. That smile right now is like that certain someone. You have until tomorrow to repay me. If you can't, I'll just take it away from your allowance. Grandfather told you even that? Yes, we're together all new. Reiga praised me that I'm much cuter than Taiga. Yeah, they aren't flabby. What are you gonna do about this, Shiro? That girl's such a devil. She'll take over the Fujini group if you let her be. Fujimura group, sorry. Actually, more than that. You were still getting the allowance at that age? See you, Shiro. You're going to be back early today, right? Then I'll be waiting here, so come home right away. Yeah, I'll try. Take care while I'm gone. You might as well live here, idiot. Fujini sulks while hiding behind my back. Yeah, you should get yourself together too. You can't cause Shiro trouble outside. Ilya easily turns aside her remark. The power relationship must already be at a position where Fujini can't push back by force. Then I'll be going ahead, but don't walk slow, you'll be late for school. Leaving the sound of exhaust, Fujini disappears like a bullet. Fujini got her license like a month ago. Since then, her tardiness decreased considerably, But she's also received another nickname of Rocket Driver, that she does not know about. I stretch out and take a deep breath. Sakura's gone to school already. Seeing how she was eating a large bowl of rice today, it seems like she's in real high spirits. Today's the big day for the archery club. Sakura must be enthusiastic to work hard as the co-captain of the archery club. Well, let's go to school. Today is April 7th. There's a school entrance ceremony, and the season is past the cold winter and already into spring. It's been 2 months since then. Feels like a lot has changed since she has gone away. But I think the changes are trivial. Winter ended and spring came. That's all that's changed. I feel like I've grown up a bit, but it's not like that caused me to be any different. So not much has changed. And Miss Shiro is clumsily running after Kiritsugu as usual. Good morning, Emi-kun. It's unexpected to see you in the morning. Hey, it sure is a good day today, Tosaka. I raise my hand and greet her. But is it really unexpected? We're barely missing each other recently. Well, I certainly didn't come across you. I certainly didn't come across you too many times before. Come across? Just like declares it, she's unhappy about something. I don't think it's good to send an aura of enmity the first thing in the morning. Tosaka, did you change the time you leave your house? You came later before, right? You came at a time that wasn't too late or too early. That's not true. I bet it's only coincidence that we didn't see each other till now. Did you know? My house and your house are in the exact opposite locations. So if we get up and go down the hill, it's only natural that we meet here. Oh. That's the first time I've heard that. I see. Well, that would certainly... Wait, hold on. That's only if we do the same things at around the same time. For Tosaka to come to this intersection at this time, she would have to get up at 6. But that's... Tosaka, you're not sleepy? I ask her directly. What do you mean by that? I'm not sleepy, nor pushing myself. Why do you ask such a thing? Well, you weren't a morning person. You'll unmask your true self if you go to school with a lack of sleep. It'll be terrible if you fall asleep during class. I bet you'll rage around with a face like an awkward, awakened demon if someone tries to wake you up. Like, I'll kill you, all that disturbs my sleep kind of thing. I won't do such a thing. I won't make such a mistake by just waking up 30 minutes early. See, you did wake up early. Jeez, quit worrying about when other people get up. If you have time to inquire about such boring things, just go to school. Tosaka gets angry while looking away. Her excuse is plausible, so I stop greeting her, and we resume our way to school. We go up the hill. The streets and houses below me have all changed to show the coming of spring. The wind is comfortable, and the cherry blossom flowers flutter down occasionally from the school on top of the hill. Everything that can be seen and felt is pleasant. Do you have work all this week? I won't complain since it's your time, but you don't get sick like that? Huh? No, actually I got today off. I heard that the archery club is doing a welcome party for the new members, so I'm thinking of going with Ilya. Wow, you have some great guts. You're a big shot if you're taking Ilya to school with an unconcerned face. Is it that bad? I think it'll let Ilya kill some time. It should make her happy. It is bad. It's bad, but I guess I'll show up as well then. I won't be boring if Ilya is going to be there, and most of all, I can't just leave her alone because it's too dangerous. I'm thankful that she says that. It's Tosaka, not Sakura and me, that understands Ilya the most. There's the fact that she periodically takes care of Ilya, but more importantly, Ilya and Tosaka are natural-born mages. To think Tosaka would be a good teacher for Ilya, as she doesn't quite realize what it's like to live as a mage while hiding the fact. Thus, things are setting into the way they should be. The damage from the Holy Grail is almost completely restored by the new priest dispatched by the church, and our everyday life is returned without problems. There are certainly things that were lost and will not return, but the wounds have slowly healed, and I should be happy about the regrets fading away. But it was unexpected. And then, Tosaka murmurs in a serious tone while looking down at the town behind her. What was unexpected? Yeah, I thought you'd be more depressed. I thought you wouldn't be able to get over it for a while. It's about the girl that isn't here anymore. It's been 2 months since then. It's about the golden-haired girl that we talk about for the first time since then. Yeah, that's what I thought too. I was about to go insane just thinking about the future. But now it turns out you didn't change after that. You didn't even get depressed as you were fine the next day. At that time, I wondered if you were really alright. I can't put it into words really well, but you had the atmosphere of a guy that would die in an accident the next day. What's that? Why would I die so easily when I'm doing well? Things like that happen. When people accomplish their lifelong goals by mistake, they can suddenly die. The instant they think, oh, I don't need to live anymore, cars run into them, running red lights, and they'll fall downstairs. Okay. Tosaka's metaphor is difficult to understand. She might want to say something about peaceful death and going to heaven or something. So I was worried about that. At times like that, people around you feel more relief when you get really depressed. Oh, so you would have comforted me if I was depressed? Of course not. I'd have kicked you in the back and made you get over it. I'm just saying that it's a bit disappointing since I couldn't do that. She looks away in displeasure. Her gesture looks so funny that I laugh. What? Was it strange? No, it was a strict line, surely fitting you, so I feel relieved. You both walk on, looking up at the spring sunlight. The hill is long and looks as if it'll continue into the endless blue sky. And as if saying something trifling, then you don't have any regrets? With Saber gone and all? Tosaka murmurs while looking up at the sky. No. I probably don't have any regrets. It's not a bluff, and I say so with a calm state that even surprises me. There is no regret, and I don't have anything I forgot to tell her. The parting contained everything. What I wanted to do, what she dreamed of. It was a competition of our determination, and maybe I should have taken her hand and granted her her dream. But there was something we both felt was beautiful, and we desperately protected it until the very end. There's nothing to feel regret about, and she has properly ended her time. I cannot remain in this reminiscence forever. I see. And you've concluded this inside you already? So that's why you're not depressed or filling yourself with reminiscence? Yeah, but I still dream about it. I'll recall her for the rest of my life. My memory will fade away someday, and I'll forget all about her voice and her gestures. But still, I'll remember forever that this thing occurred, and that I love Saber. Tosaka doesn't say anything, but for some reason, she looks happy and starts to walk as if she's skipping. What's going on, Tosaka? Did something happen to make you hurry? It's nothing. I just want to get to school quickly. So let's hurry. I'll leave you behind if you're too slow. Turning around, Tosaka starts running up the hill. What's she doing? Pushing herself since she's not a morning person? Grumbling, I throw the bag over my shoulder and start to run. It's still 7:30. It's too early of a time for a student not involved in any club activities, but I guess there's nothing wrong with being early. Running up the road that seems to go on to the sky, I reach the school earlier than usual. Today's the day that a new year starts. If I'm to celebrate it, I have to shake off my old memories and hurry up. The traces will never go away. But even if I almost cry for the vacancy hitting my heart. Blue sky is in the distance. It feels so close. Yet I cannot grab it, even if I reach out with my hands. I looked up at the stars before. The stars that I cannot reach, and the wishes that will not be granted. There's nothing we have been able to leave behind for each other. Therefore, traces and memories will disappear someday. But still, even if it will not reach her, there should be something that will remain in our hearts. There's nothing that remains in our hands, but we live the same time and looked up at the same things. If I can remember that, I can believe that we can be together even if we are far apart. I can assent that there are things that will go away. There are also things that will not go away. That is why I will keep running for now. If I aim for the distance, there should come a day when I will be able to reach out to what I've been aiming for. Winter has passed, and it is spring, the season of new beginnings. Under the blue sky, that she has also seen, I keep running up the hill. The battle has ended. Her last battleground, the battle that was fought between the split halves of her country, ended with the king's victory. The night is running. The battle has ended. The bloody red sun has already set, and the darkness of the night is already ruling over the battlefield. The hill covered with corpses is filled with curses, crying out to try and take the survivors with them. Through it all, the knight runs panting. A rein in the knight's hand, and the wounded white horse earnestly follows him. The only survivors are this knight and his horse, and this one king that is lying on the white horse's back. Your Highness, King Otha, please come this way. He must be wounded himself, but the knight runs through the battlefield with all his energy. The king he is serving is on the verge of death. The king has defeated the enemy's king in personal combat, but the king received a fatal wound as well. The wound is fatal, even in the knight's eyes. The king that they have served will soon reach death. Please get a hold of yourself. If we reach that forest, we shall certainly... He desperately calls out. Or possibly, the knight might have actually believed it. For their king is immortal, that as long as the guidance of their holy sword is there, the king would never die. He breathes hard, passes over a mountain of corpses, and heads for the forest that is not covered in blood. He knew of the king's immortality. Therefore, he believes that the king's wound will heal if he escapes this cursed battlefield and makes it to a pure place. No. He could only believe so. He believed his own king, unlike the other knights. The king was isolated in the court, alienated by the knights, and was feared by the people. But the king did not show emotion, even in such a situation, and always stayed as an ideal, and the knight felt pride in this young king. He did not serve his country. He had entrusted his sword, struggled to be of power, and made his way to be a personal guard to the king as a young man because it was this king, the masked king. The boy who tried to allow no personal feelings and to be fair. He might have hoped to be able to see the king's true face as he went near the king. He just wanted to see the king's true expressions. Not the face he puts on during battle or in the castle, but a real smiling face of a human. It should appear in the court when he had been released from his duties. No matter how perfect a king is, he cannot strain his mind 24 hours a day. But that thinking proved wrong. The only thing he found out was the truth contrary to his expectation. He had made it to the rank of the Imperial Guard and was able to guard beside the king. He had guarded the king closer than any other knight and kept watching the king's behaviors. But still, it did not happen even once. His king never smiled. Since when did he feel anger towards it? The king had accomplished so many great deeds and had accrued much glory. But in fact, the king never showed a peaceful face. He could not approve of that fact. He wanted to believe such a thing should not be allowed. This is why he wished for his king to be awarded the light. But he has yet to accomplish that. The king is still isolated. That is why the knight continuously did not approve of the king's death. He cannot end it here. He thinks that this king is not rewarded enough for his actions. Your Highness, please stay here. I shall go get someone right away. In the forest he reaches, the knight lays the king by a large tree. The situation is a race against time. It takes half a day, no matter how much he hurries to get to the port where his own army is left. Anyone with eyes should be able to tell if the king's life will last till the morning or not. Please attend until then. I shall certainly bring our troops here. He salutes the unconscious king and runs to his white horse. Bedivere. Before that, the king that should have been unconscious calls out his name. Your Highness? Have you regained your consciousness? Yes, I was having a dream. A faint voice, but that voice seems warm tonight. A dream? He calls out as if to search. The king's consciousness is not certain. He shall go back to the darkness, unless he replies so. Yes, I have not seen many dreams, so I had a valuable experience. That is great. Then please be at ease and rest. I shall go to the troops in that time. A gasping sound. It sounds as if what the knight said was unexpected. Your Highness, have I been rude? No, I was just surprised at your point. I did not know a dream could be seen after one awakens. Are you saying that I will be able to see the same dream if I close my eyes again? Now it is the knight's turn to be surprised. He stutters, but replies even though he knows it's a lie. Yes, if you strongly desire so, you should be able to continue watching the same dream. I have that experience as well. Such a thing is not possible. What happens only once and not continuously is what people call a dream. But the knight lies in spite of that. He apologizes that this will be the first and last dishonesty. Well, that's awkward. Towards the king. I see. You are knowledgeable, Bedivere. The king murmurs as if impressed. His face is still looking down, and he does not look up at the knight. The king breathes so softly that he can barely be heard quietly. Bedivere, take my sword. The king gives his last order in a faint voice. Pass through the forest and go over that blood-stained hill. There is a deep lake beyond it. Throw my sword into that lake. Your Highness, that is... The knight knows what that means. The sword of the lake. To let go of the sword that was proof of the king and what protected the king means the end of the king has served. Go. Once you have accomplished my order, return there and tell me what you saw. The king does not take back his order. The knight takes the holy sword and goes over the hill with his indecision still in mind. And the knight hesitates, returning the sword for 3 times. The lake was certainly there, but he just could not throw the sword in it. If he throws in the sword, his king will disappear. The knight is unable to throw away the sword from his unwillingness to part with the king, and the knight turns around and returns to the king. The king repeats to the knight. As the knight lies to the king, he has thrown away the sword. The king only replies to follow his command. To disobey the king's command is a great sin for a knight, but still, he disobeyed the king's order twice. He was reluctant for the king's life when he faced the lake, but that comes to an end. As the knight figures out he cannot change the king's decision, he throws the sword in the lake on his 3rd visit. The holy sword returns to the lake. A white hand appearing from the water receives the sword, and after going through the sky 3 times, the holy sword vanishes from this world. And the knight finally accepts it. The king's end. That the duty that was too long has finally ended. After crossing the hill 3 times, the forest is covered in morning sunlight. The battlefield is afar. In the pure light, mist that does not show any trace of the bloody battle. I have thrown the sword in the lake. Your sword has returned to the lady of the lake. The knight opens his eyes at the king's words. The king opens his eyes at the knight's words. I see. Then you shall be proud. You have obeyed your king's command. The knight nods silently, the voice facing death. Everything has ended. Chaos in this country would still continue. The battle will not end, and the day of ruin will come around soon. But the battle of the king has ended. No. He? No. She has fulfilled her duty to the very last moment. The light disappears, finishing her task. Has the last of her strength disappeared from her body? I'm sorry, Bedivere. This sleep will be a long As if going to sleep slowly, she gradually closes her eyes. The morning sunlight fills the area. The forest stands there quietly as the king goes into a long sleep. The night keeps watching over her figure. The king that he wished for. A lonely king that was seen off by just one night. But her face was what he wished for. Peaceful sleep. In her last moments, the king has attained peace that she has never been able to obtain. He was just happy about that fact. The knight thanks someone who has given her peace and proudly watches over his king. The heaven is far, and the clearing sky is blue. The battle has truly ended. Are you watching, King Arthur? His murmur rides through the wind. As if sinking into the endless blue, the king went to sleep. The continuation of the dream is a distant dream. The battle is over. Let us put our swords down and rest in the momentary pace. After dozing in a warm dream, a new day will dawn. The days continue on, and we're still following the same star we once saw. And that's it. I did have some minor announcements, which I'll let the credits roll over. Oh. Okay. I hope everybody liked Fate as much as I did. That was fucking awesome. So, announcements. Basically, I'm just going to be doing more. Since. Alright, I already told you I'm like in schooling, right? So, the summer semester is over. So, the summer semester is about to start, which leaves me more time for doing some streaming. So, hopefully, join me next Thursday, next Friday, a day, in which we'll be playing something new. Hopefully. It's either one I had planned to do originally or a different one I had planned to do originally. But something new. And then maybe on Tuesdays we'll start doing Pizza Tower again, because that was actually really fun. As for Wednesdays and how we're doing on Fate, there's going to be a brief break, followed by a video specifically on YouTube of all of the Taiga dojos, which is just, hey, did you get a bad end? Taiga's here to fucking set you straight. And I'll edit that all together, and that'll come eventually, maybe like two or so weeks. But yeah, once that happens, then we can dive right into Unlimited Blade Works. But for now, thanks for stopping by, guys, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.